Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to Wolfpack Wednesdays. I am your host, Graham, the Jedi Night's Watch, accompanied by two of my Wolfpack brethren. We have EvilSneaker up top. How are you, sir?
What is up, everybody? Pretty good, man. How you guys doing tonight?
Good, good. Good to have you here. And too sweet to DLO on the bottom there. He is holding down the bottom of the screen for us. So
thank you, DLO.
Thank you for your sacrifice. How are you?
It's not easy, but
it's not easy being DLO. How are you guys doing? Welcome to another week. It feels like forever actually since we streamed. Like I was thinking about that today, and I was like, man, it doesn't feel like sometimes the weeks go by really quick, and I feel like I just saw you guys, and I'm like, man, it feels like forever. So good to see.
Agreed.
Definitely agreed. Definitely probably had to do with the fact that Hot Toys decides to drop literally everything after our show. So
Right.
that would probably make this the reason why I feel so long. Because yeah, we got a lot to talk about today, don't we?
We do.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys notice, we are one short of our Wolfpack members. Brick is he's under the weather, so he is sitting this one out. But hopefully he gets well soon, so that we can have him back on and be at full strength. But we'll do our best to carry on the show in his spirit. I feel like a new man, guys. The Bucks. I don't know if you guys heard.
Oh yeah, baby.
It's what time is it? You know, it's Dame time. Damian Lillard coming to Milwaukee, and Packers got a nice victory. I was at Lambeau yesterday, and I got some Crocs. Some Crocs for the winter because in my basement it gets cold.
Funny.
So I'm feeling good today. I'm ready to go. What do you guys got to say about that?
I am happy for your new acquisition, but I hate to tell you this, it will not make a difference.
Oh,
But
You are
also,
wrong.
no one else is excited about this move other than the good people of Wisconsin. So I'm happy that you're happy, but it means nothing. Go Lakers.
All right.
Goalie.
Oh,
No. Counterpoint. Dame just came off his highest scoring. Wasn't it his highest scoring year of his career? Last year?
Something I don't remember, but it was
Like
like
one of
either most
the
efficient
dude
or
is-
something like that.
Yeah. The dude is going to bring a lot to the squad. Him and Giannis pick and roll. Unstoppable all day.
Let's go.
We will see. Good
That
for
will be
you.
an unstoppable
That won't
pick and roll. Book it.
All right, let's
Go
jump
Lakers.
in with the chat because I'm sure they just want to hear us talking about basketball all night long. We have who was first? The movie canon here was first. Says, hey everyone, fellow collectors, just got notified. My Battinson and Bat signal has been delayed. I just got the email like 30 minutes ago. Primetime Reviews let me know too via text. He's like, yep, here it is. I was like, dang, that sucks. Then 2 minutes later, I got my email. I was like, ugh. So it looks like it's going to be October to December of this year yet. So I remember we had Justin on a few months ago, Deal. You remember that? And he said he'd be surprised if we had it by Christmas.
He did, didn't he?
He's getting closer and closer to being right.
Huh. I completely forgot about that. He did say that.
Now, is this the second delay or is this the first? Do you guys know?
No, this is the second delay. It's been
'Cause-
delayed before, yeah.
Because before this, it was like July.
Yeah,
And
it was
then I don't know what it was
for
originally.
third
It was like
quarter.
June to, I don't know,
Yeah.
June to December. No, it can't be that because
It's
I
not
don't
looking
know.
good.
Yeah, it's not looking good. So, yeah, Inart is supposed to be releasing theirs around November, and now Hot Toys are gonna have to wait October to December. Haven't heard anything on the Bat cycle yet, but I would assume they wouldn't release that before the Batman, but I could be wrong. What do you guys think? Does it matter?
It's been done before. I think back in the day when the Bat Pod came out, that came out before the Dark Knight did. So it's
Okay.
possible.
I don't think it really matters much, to be honest.
I am looking forward to that Bat cycle.
I think if the people like they're going to come out close enough together to where it doesn't really matter. And if you're
Yeah,
interested
agreed.
in both, and if you're interested in getting both, and you're going to get both, you're just going to be waiting for one or the other. To me, that wouldn't really make a difference.
Okay.
For sure.
There he is. There's Brick. What is going on? How are you doing, my man? Thanks for tuning in.
Here's this
via the
healing,
chat.
healing potion. Here you go.
Holy water.
Was that,
Holy water.
that was like the Breda Too Sweet from the other day. Like,
There's our friend Primetime Reviews. What
Hey,
is going
Primetime.
on? Hello, hello, Tighter FL. Thank you for being here. Doc Bat, let's go. Wolfpack Wednesday, Jazzy, good evening, gents. Good to have the crew here every single week. Always
Shout out
always
to
a
you guys.
Pleasure to see the diehards. Flavio's House of Collectibles. Good evening,
Hey.
Flavio. Too sweet, my brother. What's going on? Let's see. We got Action in the Box channel member throwing the too sweet at us. We got EvilSneaker, of course, channel member. We got Cage, another channel member. Good to have you guys as part of the watch. Christian Cooper, what's up, guys? What's going on, Christian? Thanks for being here. TX Boy 210, what's up, 16 fam? Hope everyone's doing well. Good to see you. Universal Key, always a pleasure. Let's see, my computer's a little bit behind, so there we go. We got Cylon. Hi, guys. Good evening. Good evening. Raiden Z, bonjour. And I'm not going to be able to translate the rest of that unless one of you guys want to give that a shot.
Nah, I did bad in French in school.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Good evening.
Bonjour.
We got Striker 47. Always appreciate Striker. Always comments on my videos as well. So appreciate him. How's it going, everyone, with these figures that dropped this past Friday? I'm not going to be surprised if a good amount of collectors cancel Christmas this year.
Yep. Gonna say Santa Claus stole everything. I'm sorry, son. Nothing we can do
It's
about
going to
it.
be an interesting what happens with the market this Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna test you. It's gonna test you.
It's
For...
gonna test me the hell out of me. Yep.
It's going to test me not to
That
take
was,
up on all these
Sneaker with
deals.
the asking for a friend question there.
All right, we got Jedi 291 in the house. Hey, Wolfpack. Hello from Saskatoon. Let's see, Mad Planet 23. Hi, folks. Eddie Rodriguez. Good to see you. Evening. We got Daniel. Hey, y'all. Checking in for Inart Talk. We know you love the Inart, and we're going to have some of that tonight, so don't you worry. Let's see. Hot Toys delaying it because they're nervous. Kind of priceless to see. Everybody's got their opinion about
I love
that.
you, Daniel.
It's funny. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, and then the C-3PO from Attack of the Clones was delayed from Sideshow as well. You know, I saw that and I was like, wait, that came out. But then Sideshow's still not going to be getting theirs. So if you bought from Sideshow, you're going to be waiting a bit, probably.
Interesting.
So I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing delays after something's already released.
Like people already have it in hand from getting it overseas. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, that's just my luck, though, because that's the first time I joined the wait list. Decided to convert a wait list. I put it in a payment plan, expecting it to be. I'm down to my last payment, and then this news breaks there. So thanks. I will never do this again. Thank you, Sideshow, for reminding me why I don't do this.
Yeah. We got Addy Baloo. Did you guys pre-order the Inart Superman? The head sculpt for the laser eyes looks awesome. Yes, and yes. Daniel will be pleased to know that I did pre-order the Inart Superman, and I am excited. And Baloo, yes, that laser that head sculpt is the chef's kiss. It is something to behold. I can't wait to get that. Honestly, like I'm more of the guy that goes with the traditional portrait, but those laser eyes, that head sculpt, I think that might be the one I go with. And I don't know, maybe somebody out there knows, but if the heads are compatible, I might just keep my Justice League and pop the head on that one. But who knows? Two different companies. I doubt they're going to be completely compatible, but you know, we'll see. Can always dream. And we have a brand new channel member. Prime Time Reviews. My good friend Brandon has just become a member of the watch. His watch has now started, and I appreciate him. I got to think of something cool to do when this happens, like on stream, because that's pretty cool, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for just taking that extra step to support the channel and whatnot. So that means a lot to me. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. And I think we're pretty much caught up. We got about 40 in the house. So don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help us small channels out. Tells YouTube that, you know, you like the content that's coming from us. And it gets this video out to others that might be interested as well. So please hit that like button. We've been waiting 1.5 years for certain pieces. What's another month or two? You know, it gets to that point where it's true. We've been waiting a while, and yeah, what's another couple months? It just stinks because this is like the one I've been holding out for, the Batman and the Bat Cycle. And I'm trying not to get other stuff because I want to just be able to get this like day one, or, you know, whatever. I might cancel my Sideshow and just get day one. We'll see. But it's just so hard to remain strong when you're trying not to buy these new figures towards the end of the year, right, boys?
For sure, because that
Absolutely.
list doesn't get any smaller; it only gets larger as the year goes on. So, yeah, delays are not welcome because obviously, the last thing I want, or I think anybody wants, is like to get hit with like 3 or 4 invoices in 1 week because that one figure got delayed there. So, it's Sideshow, get on your shit. We want our stuff now.
Yeah, it makes it hard to plan.
Yeah, it does. Really quickly, because I know Sneaker and I are kind of in the same ballpark because I went nuts in August, so I'm trying to keep my poise and not buy it, like go backwards and buy a whole lot of stuff. Just trying to get the pre-orders for the rest of the year. Maybe 1 or 2 here. We'll see. DLO, are you being selective to end the year? Is it business as usual? Are you trying to limit yourself on what you're buying, or what's going on with your collecting journey?
Yeah, honestly, for me, I mean, I'm feeling the pinch. I'm not gonna lie to you guys here, just because there's been so much stuff that I really want, and it's all dropping pretty close to each other. That Far From Home line, man, it's got my eye. It's
that's dangerous.
You know, you got officially now Electro, Doc, and Goblin all announced. So I mean, 3 villains I absolutely want to have there. Maybe not so much Electro as much as the other 2, but I still want them. And then you obviously got Andrew. I still got to pick up. You know, Toby's definitely right around the corner. That's going to be announced at any second now. And then you know, you got stuff like this Inart that just came out. We're announcing that's a pre-order right there. I already have the Gandalf and Aragorn already pre-ordered, so Gandalf's already been released. I don't know when I'll get that. Mm-hmm. So it's starting to pile up. And obviously, you know, no one named Hot Toys or Inart are stopping and taking their foot off the gas. They're still pushing new announcements regularly. So yeah, it's right now it's not a wait and see approach. It's just like how many second, third, fourth jobs I can get so I can get all this stuff and not have to wait. So I don't know. It's not pick and choose. I'm not being selective. I'm just trying to figure out like what the heck I can do to get all these as soon as possible because I want them all. So yeah, I'm in a tough boat.
I think for the end of the year I might be sitting okay. I got the Wonder Woman 100-year anniversary, the Artisan, and then the Bat Cycle, the Batman, and then possibly Vader Obi-Wan if that comes out by the end of the year. I don't know if there's anything else.
I got Peacemaker too.
Yeah, Peacemaker. Yeah. But I don't know if there's anything else I have to get. So I'm sitting kind of pretty here. But Sneaker, what about you? You got like a lot of stuff that's probably going to be dropping.
Let me look because I keep a running list on my phone of like current pre-orders. I think the main, so my main thing right now is waiting. Like Cobb Vanth is one that's probably going to come this year. The biggest thing for me as far as pre-orders go right now is what they're going to do with Kenobi, because they're all slated October 23 to March 2024. So hopefully it's honestly for me, I want the tail end of that window. I'd rather them come out early 2024 and see what happens with Christmas. I'm not like I'm excited for those, but I don't need them to come out right now because I have a few, like I have Obi-Wan, I have Kenobi Vader, I have Grand Inquisitor. Like if all those 3 drop within, I do not want those to drop before Christmas all in the same week.
Sure.
So other than that, and Buzz Lightyear, which is one that's, we'll see if that one, I guess if that one comes out this year. There really hasn't been anything about that. Obviously it's been, quiet with that figure.
That'll just come out of nowhere probably.
Yeah. That'll
Is there
probably just
anything that you guys have pre-ordered that's on the fence that might be in the chopping block just to make room for something else if you need to? Anything you guys are throwing back and forth?
No.
If I'm not really.
No.
I mean, Mantis. I think Mantis is supposed to be early quarter 1 of 2024 as well. That one I'm pretty set on. No, I mean, I didn't pre-order it, but the Mark III, the Iron Man, I was considering, but at the price with everything else coming out, that one would for me probably get the chopping block. It's going to be kind of pushed to the side, but it's not pre-ordered.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's the other ones I'm thinking about. Are like I didn't pre-order any the Return of the Jedi, like the Return of the Jedi ones, which I will end up getting. But the other ones I have pre-ordered are out of ways, like Wrecker, Tech, Attack of the Clones, Anakin, Clone Wars, Obi-Wan. So like those are out a little bit, but I still like there's still ones that Return of the Jedi figures. I'm gonna want to get those, and who knows, like it's the anniversary this year, so like I don't know when those are slated for. Maybe you guys know, but
Thought
just
it
wanted
was.
to check.
It's like spring. It's quarter 2 to 3 next year, I think.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so those are going to be pushed out a ways. So I could see them doing some type of Kenobi thing. Kenobi Vader would be a wise one for them to drop before Christmas. That's going to be a hot figure that a lot of people are going to buy.
Sure, especially capitalizing all the hype with Ahsoka going on right now for Anakin and all that stuff like that. So that would be easy money for them for sure. If they wanted to
I'm
put
a
that
little
out
surprised
tomorrow.
we haven't gotten more drops from Ahsoka. You guys think they're just
I'm
going to wait
not.
till this thing ends?
Yeah, it's going to be bombarded minute things. I mean, look at.
think
I
they're
mean,
just-
think about the announcements that we just got. I mean, that's that was just a big announcement right there, and it's just like, again, one of those announcements that I keep forgetting they do every year, but it's just like no one saw a lot of those figures coming, and like
Right.
no one had any plan for that to be something we'd be considering buying potentially or pre-ordering this year. So it's when you put that in out there, and then you have this this hot show like Ahsoka out there right now. It's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna be like another Hawkeye situation where we don't get an Ahsoka on the Ahsoka show. Like Hawkeye didn't get a Hawkeye figure, but I just think it's going to be one of those things that we're just going to have to wait a little bit on. We'll get a couple more announcements. Don't get me wrong. I don't think we're going to be bone dry on the announcements, but I don't think we're going to get all the figure announcements that we want to hear from to feel better about it right away. I think it's going to be one of those couple here, couple there, and then eventually when we kind of let our guard down, that's special edition one, rooted hair Ahsoka, even though she doesn't have hair, whatever they want to put out. I don't know, but like it will be announced. I promise. It's
I could
pretty
see
stacked lineup right now of announcements.
I could see Thrawn and Ahsoka coming soon, and then like 6 months down the road, I could just see right out of the blue like a Hu Yang or and something else, like just
Ezra or
random
something like that.
Yeah, just random.
Yeah, I think you look at how they did the Mandalorian line and like that show. Like this is probably the hottest show that's come out probably since that dropped, and they went so heavy on Mando. Like they're probably my gut feeling is they're going to go heavy on this show, and I think a lot of it too is revolving around the time frame of they're probably trying to stay out of spoiler territory by revealing things. So they're probably just being really selective with how they're revealing it, seeing how people respond to the show. And then afterwards, I think we're going to probably shortly after. I can see the finale also dropping and then them revealing, a couple things shortly after that, right off the tail end, like the hype of the show. Be excited for that.
For sure.
For show. Let's just check back in with the chat here before we get the actual show here underway. We got Chris Santos in the house. What's going on, my friend? Thank you for being here. Batman Collectibles just paid off half my order for my first Maju case. Talk about a hit to the wallet. I'm done for the year. Or need to be. It'll be worth it. Just
congrats.
Yeah, congrats. It's a big deal. That's awesome.
That's the big thing for me. I'm still recovering from my big Maju case at the beginning of the year. So, that's a couple dollars I would have had to buy more figures if I didn't do that this year. So, it's a loss. It is what it is. I'll recover next year. I'll have a full budget allotted to figures and what I want. So, for the rest of the year, I'm just going to see what I can pick and find there. But I think what I want to have more than anything else is the Far From Home line. As much as Brick's not here to hear me say this and smirk at me while I do this, I know you're watching. I know you're happy about that. But I really want that Far From Home line to just. I think after that, I'll take a break from Marvel for a little bit. Just focus on DC and Star Wars.
All right, cool. Well, without further ado, let's get into some of the news, some of the announcements.
The news.
Before we do, I just want to welcome you all officially.
Welcome to the fucking show.
So here's something that came out of nowhere. At least I didn't see coming. And it's Scarlet Witch from Endgame. I thought we were done with Endgame. I didn't think they'd go back this early. I thought maybe for an anniversary or something like that. Let alone, we were just talking about it. Hot Toys doesn't do Marvel DXs. And we're like, they probably won't do Artisan either. Well, a couple days later, here we are with Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, the Artisan edition. I was blown away by this, guys, but I want to hear what your take was. So, Dilo, I want to start with you on this. What were your thoughts when you saw this?
When I saw this, honestly, I've never been so happy. I really, really haven't. It was just one of those things, man, where it's just like I gave up on this figure, like looking for the Civil War one for stupid money for years. And I was gonna buy me WandaVision. I told Brick when it comes down to like $20, I'll go pick her up, whatever, whatever daily deal price is or something like that. But I'll be honest with you, in the back of my head, I was always, it was gonna be settling because I always had my heart set on this particular version in this particular time frame, because like I want my Endgame-esque kind of lineup where they look like how they looked during that movie and stuff like that. So I wanted to keep it, phase 1 through 3. So I didn't think we were going to get this one. I hoped for a while. I said, though, it doesn't make sense. Why didn't we get an Endgame? Why didn't we get an Infinity War version of her? Everybody else got another figure. Why didn't she? Then eventually I just gave up on the whole idea of it happening, and I was going to buy one of those, and this, like, out of nowhere, whoa. Scratch what I was going to do. I'm not going to buy any one of those. Now my heart is set on this. And on top of it, it's a DX. It's rooted, and it looks stunning. New face sculpt. Material, I hope, is a little bit better because I heard a lot of people had issues with the pleather on the jacket from the first version there. But overall, this one is scary good. And the fact that this head sculpt is only, we're removed maybe a year and a half from the WandaVision head sculpt. And then later last year when Multiverse Madness came out, we had another head sculpt for that one. So in a matter of like 12 months, like they've perfected, in my opinion, Scarlet Witch. Like her Elizabeth Olsen is literally on our screen right now. That's how scary good it is. From and just looking from year over year, how much better they got at her head sculpt. It's scary good, guys. Like this is one of the best head sculpts I've seen them do like in a long, long time. Like not to exaggerate. So the fact that it's rooted, that's really cool. I actually am all in. I want this one rooted here. As much as I didn't do anything for Anakin and Joker, I'm going to take the day off from work if I have to secure one of these here. I'm going to do whatever it takes here. So I'm super excited. The base is cool. I'm not really a big fan of big bases, but I do like that one there. But yeah, overall, my overall experience was just shocked. I didn't think we were going to get this one. I thought we forgot about Marvel.
Surprise, yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were over with this, so this is cool.
No, you and I were in the same boat because I also like, and I was talking to Brick about this for a long time too. I was like, yeah, I want one of those Wandas, but I'm not sure which one yet. I got to see when they both come out because I wasn't sure because it wasn't the definitive version for me.
Right.
This is part of like my end game line. It fits perfectly. This is ideal. So, they always say too, patience pays off in this hobby. And again, like, kind of being rewarded for kind of holding back and waiting, and now this comes out, which you're not going to hit a home run like this every time, so you got to make your own judgment call. And if you're good with neither of those other ones are any slouches of a figure, so but like if you're like me where you just kind of kept waiting, there's other stuff that took priority because it wasn't like your definitive version, and now it's just here, so now it's like perfect, I can get this. So sneaker Star Wars guy, thoughts? You're gonna try to get this?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get this actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get this. This figure is like, this figure's next level to me actually. I was pleasantly surprised as well to see this one, but it makes complete sense when it comes to doing your first Marvel Artisan figure. Like this was a great choice. I know we talked about like, oh, could it be Thor? Could it be these other characters? But this is just like, it looks so good. I think her hair color looks really good with rooted as well.
Mm-hmm.
I really love this base for this figure. Like this is when I think about stuff that I'm going to put in, like a couple, display cases that are, from different lines and different shows and movies and whatnot. Like this is going to look really good in there if I can get it. But yeah, the base looks really cool. I am very nervous about the pleather though. Like this is
I was thinking the same thing about the pants and the coat.
Yep.
It is a daunting thing to be thinking about for sure.
Yeah, and I know we'll probably talk about it, but yeah, it seems, I guess, like what Artisan is basically they're doing new head sculpts and then they're rooting hair, but they're not really doing much to the tailoring or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess that's what Hot Toys' MO is, and that's what they're gonna do. They probably don't feel like they really have to do drastic updates and change materials. But with that being said, I don't want to get too off track with that. Yeah, this thing looks phenomenal. I think, yeah, I'm going to definitely try to get this. One of the characters that I really like, my wife is actually like, are you going to get this figure? So like for her to show interest in a figure is usually like, okay, yeah, this is going to be like something that, you know, I'll want to add in. So she was like actually pretty hyped about it. But yeah, the head sculpt looks great. Also, I don't know if you're going to show the sculpted, but the sculpted one also looks,
and that's the best part about this too.
Good, man. Yeah,
it's a great consolation.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
at first I couldn't even tell it was sculpted.
The
honestly,
way the sculpted hair, they've been just like, this is another thing I'll say is we talked about Sabine, like Sabine, Fennec, Casca Reeves, like they have been just nailing these female head sculpts. They're crazy good. All the ones that have came out or that they've announced are so good. Sabine is another one where the hair just flows so well sculpted. Yeah, I'm really digging this figure. There's something else I was gonna say. Oh, the one other thing I was gonna say is it's interesting. The only thing I'll say is the choice of announcing this when they still have one pending to come out, and what's gonna happen. Like if I was somebody who only wanted one Wanda, this would be the one that I want
for sure.
You know? I mean, it is the only one I want. I've never had an interest in any of the other Wandas. I've never had an interest in any of them. This is the one that I want, but I know there's people who have, you know, what one was the one that just came out? Was that the WandaVision one?
WandaVision,
yep.
So we're still waiting on the
there's
Doctor Strange
multiverse.
one.
Then there's Multiverse of Madness pending, which I think is waitlisted, right?
Yes.
On Sideshow at least. So that one's pending. I'm gonna guess like people are gonna cancel that and try to get this one. Like this one looks better to me. You know what I mean? Unless you really love Wanda and you want multiple Wandas, that's obviously not for me. She's not a character I'd want multiple of, but it's an interesting reveal when you have one that still has yet to be released and you're announcing this. Like that's going to drive people away from the one that you have that's not out yet. You know what I mean? So I think like that's the only questionable thing I'd say. Because I would definitely like, I don't care about any other Wanda but this one, looking at this, and you know, that's just my take on it. But yeah,
that's why I was so surprised that this was announced too. It was just out of left field because like you said, we just had two. One just released, one's been announced, hasn't been released yet. So very surprising that they'd even give us this, because they're kind of cannibalizing their own sales. But I mean, obviously
they're really not to cut you off here, because they get paid off the pre-orders here. So whatever Sideshow's already ordered, whatever they get from other retailers through that whole business plan, they're paid in advance for that stuff. So whether we cancel or not, that's on the retailer. That has nothing to do with them there. So for them, it's not a
would be pissed.
Yeah, so Sideshow's the one getting screwed. So Sideshow's screwed. They're like, thank you very much for this, Howard, you asshole. But
they're going to get NRDs basically.
For sure. That's going to be stuck on them there. But what I finally figured out, though, is like I finally figured out the trend of how they're picking these artisans one here. You guys want to hear my theory?
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Okay.
Everybody gather in.
What does Wonder Woman, Joker, Anakin, and Wanda have in common for collectors?
Longer hair.
Yes. But
Anakin, Joker, Wanda.
Anakin, Wonder Woman, Joker, Anakin, and now Wanda. What they all have in common? They're the most customized characters that collectors do. Let me just explain what everyone
like customs.
If you go to if you got people who do kit bash and do that, people will always root Wonder Woman and all the other ones I just mentioned right there. Those are some of the most popular ones here. So I finally figured out where the idea for the inspiration for this artisan is coming from here. Everything that Hot Toys is clearly following the collectors and what they're doing, right? And that includes what collectors are doing, customizing their figures and stuff like that. And they're stealing the ideas because they're seeing that people are willing to pay top dollar to somebody who root hair and all kinds of stuff, pay $300-$400 to get a root job done and customize their figure. Why can't we do this? That is where this artisan stuff is coming from. So don't be surprised. Keep an eye on like social media. Look at what collectors are posting there. I guarantee you the next idea that's coming for the next artisan figure, whenever that comes, is going to be something that we always see on a regular basis that collectors are constantly customizing themselves. That's where this is coming from.
Interesting.
So it's also interesting. Like, so did they use the same rooting technique for Wonder Woman? I'm guessing yes, right?
They did. She's like the unofficial artisan.
Yeah, she's like, it's interesting. She's a Warner Brothers 100 release, but she's not an artisan figure. But basically, like, they could have made her the first artisan release if they wanted to, but they saved the Artisan release for Anakin as a little marketing thing. Like, we're announcing our new top-notch line. We're going to show Anakin, even though Wonder Woman is basically the same exact thing, right? Like, how do you build hype?
She was a test pilot, if you think about it.
Yeah.
She was limited.
That's a really good point. Limited,
Yeah.
yep. See how that figure does. Don't call it something new. Call it a limited Warner Brothers 100 release, and then see the reception to that, and then drop a huge hype building thing, and drop an Anakin Skywalker and revealing a new line, even though Wonder Woman's basically essentially the same thing.
Yep.
And this one will have 2,500 units. So
Yeah.
Still pretty rare. I mean, was this Joker 4,000?
Yeah, it was a little bit more.
So that was
Anakin, and I think Anakin was 20. Anakin was 3.
3, I
Anakin
think.
3.
Wonder Woman was 15.
Well, it's gonna be tough. This one's gonna be hard to get.
Yeah, it's
Hard
gonna be
to
a tough
get.
one. And if they do the lottery system again, doesn't
Yeah.
pay to be late or early. It's
Nope.
just
They're gonna do lottery again.
luck of the
Oh,
draw.
you know they will.
That's what.
How do you
that's-
know? What's your
I don't
source?
see why they. I don't see why they wouldn't. There's like, they'll probably refine that process from what they learned with Anakin and Joker and do the same thing. I
So
think
something
they're
we were
going to.
talking about in our group chat is how come more and more figures are taking longer to get up, like for actual pre-order on Sideshow? And obviously with the Artisan, it's a different format. But do you think it takes a while because they're getting like they're kind of setting up like the auction process and how that's like the software and how that's going to run? Do you think it just takes time? Because this was, I mean, Joker took a while, I felt like, and do you guys have any thoughts on what the holdup is on just getting this thing up for pre-order right away? Because it's probably not going to be, it's not going to be this week. If anything, it might be next, like late next week, Thursday or Friday. So I'm just curious if you guys have a hunch on that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Then I'll answer.
It's a tough one. I mean, I think when it comes to these Artisan announcements and there being a sculpted version as well in play for it there, I think that's the reason why. It's because they're setting up the lottery for this here. And then obviously when we get closer to the official date of when it's going to be done, then that's when they drop the announcement, kind of like they did. I think I recall this with Joker in his Artisan announcement there. They waited until like a couple days before the actual lottery system that they did there for that particular one to announce the sculpted one's price as well. So I think we found that 24, 40 hours before, something like that. So I think for something like this, that's normal, but I really don't. That's a good question. I really don't know what they're doing for the other figures that we're getting announcements for. We're not seeing them like we're used to, like usually a couple hours.
Morning of.
Yeah, a couple hours a morning of possibly when it's after it's been announced. So, I mean, does anybody have a theory they want to share there? I mean, because I can only guess why they're doing what they're doing.
I think at least for some of them, it's they want to build the hype rather than just putting it up right away. They want people to talk about it, I think is part of it. Especially these Artisan ones, like they're releasing it, people are talking about it, then they're announcing, or they're putting up the RSVP page, people are RSVPing, and then what happens is they drop this date, and then I think Anakin and Joker were 10 days later. After they dropped the date, we're going to release it on whatever day it was. This is when the lottery is going to be. I think it was 10 days from the day that that they announced that date. I'm pretty sure. So they said it's on X date, 10 days before it actually happened. I think some of it is building hype. Some of these other ones though, like these ones because there's like the Spider-Punk one, right? Isn't that one of them that's kind of just like waiting right now that hasn't been?
Yeah.
There's I don't really know. Maybe they're just maybe they just want people to talk about it before they post them at this point. Because I know a lot of it probably relies on how many people pre-order, how many they get, probably how many they end up allocating probably relies on how many people pre-order. You know what I mean? I would think that would have that would be an indicator of how many they're going to order in a batch.
Yeah.
So I would think they're probably trying to build a little bit more hype rather than just announcing some of these right away. Or they're handpicking figures that they know are going to do well, and some of these other ones they're just waiting for the word to get out. That would be my thought potentially. That could be completely wrong, but how the market is and this, like they're probably, I would think, maybe experimenting with some different ways of doing it to ensure that they get as many sales as possible.
You could be right though, because we don't know how well they did for the other launches, for the other Artisan ones there, and how well holding off on the exact cost of it until the last second. It's very possible that they saw a spike in pre-orders that maybe they liked the numbers and they wanted to go ahead and see if it'll work on the next one. Maybe they had a good experience with Anakin, they had a good experience with Joker, and now they're trying to duplicate the success of those. We don't know, but that's a very good guess though, because I mean that makes a lot of sense when you think about it like that. But the other ones, how come we don't have any announcements on the prices from the stuff that was announced last week though? I mean that's
that's what I mean. Those ones are kind of just
that's weird, right? You have the Spider-Punk, you have the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3, that really unique looking Iron Man comic book actor one. I mean there's some interesting ones in there that you would think by now, it being like Wednesday, that almost a week now since it happened, should have some kind of idea what the price is.
Yeah.
So
how long did it take to get the Wonder Woman up for pre-order? Was it just a couple days? Was that a week?
Was that one an email lottery? Like you get selected and then you get an email and you can purchase it, or was that one like a lottery?
I know you have to pre-register.
First serve.
Oh, you had to pre-register? Okay.
Yeah, kind of like the Captain America from Endgame that they did.
I know the Disney 100 Iron Man was like you register and then they send you an email if you got selected for pre-order, right? I think that's how Iron Man was.
I believe so, yeah.
I couldn't remember how the Wonder Woman was.
Wonder Woman, I thought it was first come, first serve.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
First
come,
you're
first
right.
Gotcha.
Because I was like, I remember getting on there right away and surprised that I could just order or so. Let's just check in with the chat here before we keep going. Let's see here. Yeah, Brick says, not only Artisan, but the normal releases are taking longer too. I feel like it all started with Indiana Jones, and I know that's going through something with the book bag.
Totally different stuff.
Something different. I feel like that's what started it. That was the first one that it was like, oh, this thing's not going up for pre-order.
Yeah, and they pushed that figure hard. Like that was a big reveal, and like they didn't put him up. And they made him all leather.
Why this week?
Yeah, and why is he all leather and the Artisan figures are not?
Yeah.
They're like they chose to make that figure leather parts, but they're not doing that for Artisan. Or maybe that's like DLO, like you said, they're doing like how they did a Wonder Woman test run for Artisan. Maybe they're gonna be implementing that in future figures. I guess we don't know. Indiana Jones is a good one to start with, I guess. But anyways.
Hot Toys is gonna Hot Toys, I guess.
Yeah, Striker says, I've heard rumors that this isn't going to be the only Artisan that they drop, that they may also be bringing us Black Widow or Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan makes sense because the teaser already kind of with the IG-12 accessory pack, they showed the rooted Bo-Katan, so I could see that. I don't know if that would be enough to sway me on that one though. I mean, I already have the sculpted side.
Oh, I'd get that 100%.
Yeah, you would.
I'd want that. I'm holding out for that one before getting the other one.
Yeah. Brick surprised Black Widow wasn't first. Yeah.
I'm not.
I think Wanda's the perfect choice. She really
Wanda's more sought after as a character than honestly Widow and Captain Marvel is. And the females at the top of my head I can think of. I mean, she's the only one that's honestly still holds her value compared to the other figures who've been out there for the other characters. So it only makes sense. We're going to start off with one that everybody absolutely wishes they didn't miss out on, and then root it and make it like how everybody wants to, who has it customized. It's a brilliant strategy. Really think that's what I was saying. Like they're going after the collectors with the disposable income to get something customized that are willing to pay top dollar to do that, and they're picking those particular favorites. Like that's the theory I have with this here, because it only makes sense because in Hot Toys' mind, well, if they're willing to pay X amount of dollars to get a sculpt repainted and rerooted and all that good jazz there to get the definitive version of their figure, then it only makes sense for them to do it themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 100%. And I like how they're like this for me, for somebody who primarily collects Star Wars, is like, this is what I want to see when it comes to these other one-off characters that I'm really interested in, because they're picking the right characters to do outside of Star Wars. You know what I mean? So that gets me excited when I think of other figures that I want to pick up outside of the line. Like this is one that I want to get. Honestly, if this one was just the sculpted, I don't know if I would want it. I don't know if that's me buying into the hype of the Artisan line, but like the rooted
too. Sound like a simp right now. No,
100%.
But I really like. I also really like the look of rooted hair. You know what I mean? I think after getting the root, like in our Joker, I really like rooted hair. So
this is the type of figure that rooting like always appeals to me. I always tell you guys all the time, like shorter hair doesn't do it for me. I think it should be sculpted every time. But like longer hair figures where it helps with the articulation and it looks darn good while doing it, makes total sense. Because if you look at a sculpted version of her figure there, it looks great. But the only thing I'm concerned about with that one is with the turning of the neck with the hair sculpted in going down to the chest. Like that's going to damage the jacket, and that jacket is not going to be leather to begin with. It's going to be pleather again. So that's only going to make it a little harder to maintain the quality of that jacket for a long period of time. So this is the quintessential example I always talk about. Longer hair makes sense. Rooted hair makes sense for longer hair characters.
Well, and even the sculpted hair might, I wouldn't say damaged, but it'll like, if you turn the head and bend the hair, it could stay like that unless you like heat it up or something and then kind of reposition it. But like I've had that with my Thor, you know, I had the head turned for a while and then the hair just kind of wings out now.
I remember that.
Yeah, just something to think about, but obviously not everybody's going to have a chance at the sculpted hair. So my question is, will you guys, because it sounds like all three of us are going to try for the Artisan, correct? So will you guys be disappointed or let down if this is like your consolation? I mean, Sneaker, will you even get this then if you miss out on the Artisan?
I probably won't buy sculpted.
Okay.
To be honest, like if I miss this rooted, I probably will just say it's not. Yeah, I'd rather if I'm going to buy her as a figure, I want the rooted. I don't want the sculpted as my primary one. But that could change. But that's what my gut feeling tells me right away is I want the limited rooted one over the sculpted.
DLO, you're okay with this as like a consolation?
Yeah, and I don't feel like it's a consolation either way, to be frank with you. I mean, it's a figure that I plan on getting. Honestly, in this particular situation for me, Hot Toys is doing me a favor. The way I see it, they're saving me money on a figure that I would be a real consolation prize because it's not the figure I want, let alone the rooted or not. But just the fact that it's going to be the definitive Wanda that I personally have been looking for years and was going to get one that was just going to be okay for just completionist reasons there. Yeah, I'm 100%. If I have to go with the sculpted, obviously I'm going to be a little disappointed, but I'm going to immediately get over that because it's still a figure I absolutely desire to get. So one way or the other, if I can get the rooted, I'm happy. If I get the sculpted, I'll be a little disappointed, but then right afterwards, I'm going to snap out of it and I'm going to be happy either way.
Right. Yeah, so here, obviously you're going to get the separate rolling eyeballs. You're going to get the luminous reflective effect. And then 2 LED lighting modes on the diorama base. I'm assuming that's going to be USB-C powered. So everything else is business as usual. DLO, you said like we had problems with the coat peeling. Have you seen a lot of like issues with the pants?
The pants has been another one as well too. Yeah, I mean both pieces.
Terrifies me.
Pants, yeah, pants and the jacket. They're more so the pants have become like a major thing recently. I mean, there's been issues with the coats, but you don't hear about it very much anymore. But the pants have become like a major problem where you just like I think people are replacing them now with like third-party outfits and stuff like that there just to make it, make it look decent enough there. But yeah, that's another piece of it as well too. So, buyer beware. It is what it is. Take care of your figures. Try to keep it away from, sunlight and stuff like that there. Do your best you can to do that. But, with any figure that you're using pleather as opposed to leather, there's always a possibility that it could deteriorate over time.
Yeah, and I've only been collecting for 3.5 years, but none of the figures that I've purchased myself have peeled. I keep my climate control, my dehumidifier going, temperature, decent setting, and then, there's no direct sunlight here either, and I haven't had a problem. But I'm also thinking though, like I think people have a point where if you're handling the figure a lot too with your hands, the oils on your hands and whatnot, and even just the friction can really start to make it peel over time too. So yeah, just depending on how careful you want to be. Some people wear gloves, it's not necessarily the weirdest thing if you just want to be extra careful. So this is a lot of pleather too, so this might be something you want to think about. Like even my crow figure, I try not to handle much at all. And if I grab it, I try to do it by like the boot or something like that, or just by the base. So those are all things that I just kind of think about too with all this pleather, because it's a lot. And that it deterred me for a while from buying these types of figures because I just didn't want to deal with it over time. How is this thing going to look in 5-6 years? But I've had Vader for a while too, and I never had an issue with him. So you just never know.
I think it's a little overblown for what Like if you're climate controlled and you take good care of it and you're careful, I think it's like, I think some people think like over time, yeah, long ways down the road, like the chemical components of the makeup of pleather are going to break down, but like that's a long time if you take care of them. And like this isn't just going to break down over a year or two without you actually like not taking care of it, I feel like. Can I ask you guys one question? What do you think of the numbers that they're doing for this? Because like you said, like Wonder Woman, I know it's not Artisan, was like 1,500. Joker's 4,000. Anakin's 3,000. This one's 2,500. Like, do you have any thought on why they're doing these random like allotments for this and why they're not picking like a set number for Artisan? Like, I don't really know. I don't have an answer as to what that's about, but it's just interesting how they're just changing so many.
I think it has to do with the fate of the character, to be honest with you there. I mean, Wonder Woman, you gotta remember, Wonder Woman essentially was just a root job for an existing head sculpt that they had. So there's nothing amazing about that one there. And it was only 1,500, right? So they put as little R&D to that as they possibly could. So you got that one. Now you got Joker. Okay, Joker, you know, we've had a whole year and change of praising Inart and a rooted one. So I think they have more belief because it's a big heavy hitter character that has sold very well from the past. And it's something that's extremely desirable. So, okay, bump up the numbers. Then you got Anakin. Now, Anakin's tricky because you probably say to yourself, out of all the characters here, that should be at least as many as Joker. But a lot of people forget Anakin sat on shelves for years before it finally sold out. Well, not years. I don't want to exaggerate too much, but a very long time. It was there for a very long time, maybe like 2 years or something like that there. The grail of all grails, the Dark Side Anakin, was coupon free shipping, guys, if you guys can believe it, all back then. Yeah. So that being said, you know, there's more popularity to him now, obviously, but in between here and Artisan, we had a little figure from the Clone Wars, and that one has been sitting for the longest time too. Two SKUs of that one there. So for them, it's a safer number. Now Wanda's not a main character. She's a side character. She is not Iron Man. She is not Thor. She's not any of those guys, right? She's a fan favorite. She's popular, but is she as popular as Anakin is? Is she as popular as Joker is? I think we can all say no to that, right? Yeah. So for her, I mean, I think that's how they're basing their numbers. They're basing it on prior data that they have of how well that figure has sold for them. Because every one of these Artisan figures is a figure they've sold before. This is a new figure to market that we've never seen. So I think they're basing it off all their sales numbers and seeing what numbers they feel comfortable with. Because I think the goal of it more than anything else is not how much the production is, if they can sell out that number. I think that 100% sell it out. So
this is going to be gone.
Right, we know it is, but again, for them, it's all calculated risk for them and how they want to do it.
And I think another thing off of that is when you're making a sculpted version as a secondary, you want that to sell. So you want to drive hype. You want to drive hype for the rooted. And once the rooted sells out, you want people to want to buy the sculpted.
That's a great point. Like the FOMO, like, oh man, I missed out on the rooted. Well, let me pick up this one.
Like what you said. You said you're not going to be upset if you miss the rooted, but you're still going to pick up the sculpted. There's going to be a lot of people in that same boat, I think.
For sure.
Who are going to pick up the sculpted if they can't get the rooted one. It's just going to drive the hype for the figure, though.
Yeah.
I agree. Good talks, guys. Good talks. Yeah, the base looks really cool. Might be a problem if you're into like detofs or small, tight spaces, but yeah, if you can pose her with that base, I think it's going to look really good on your display. Any other final thoughts on this? We're all in one way or another. Hopefully, you know, we're going to try our best. Jazzy, actually, let's end it on this. Jazzy wants to know what the price rate for the sculpted would be. He's thinking $330 before taxes and shipping.
The base is going to bring it up here, so I think that's fair.
Yeah. What was Joker? What was rooted Joker?
It was like $350, $375.
Yeah, I think this will be less than that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
not by a lot. Not by a lot.
I think 330-ish is.
I'm going to go 345 on this one here.
I'll say 315.
I'll say 330, 345, and then what do you guys have a rooted estimation? Anakin was 415, right?
Wonder Woman was 4.
I see her being 425.
That's what I was gonna say.
425.
One day 425 for her.
She's gonna be like 5.
Put it on the board.
She's gonna be 475-ish. She's gonna be 475.
It's a water bat.
460 to 475-ish.
Yeah, almost 500 out the door. Taxes and shipping. Yeah.
It's half a K.
Mhm. No big deal.
Okay.
Just the car payment, y'all. No big deal.
Right? Yeah. How much
Some
different
change
is
us
the
collectors.
how much different is the artisan packaging going to be compared to the normal versions?
Well, we saw the artisan packaging for Wonder Woman already out there in the wear. Shout out to Breda.
It's
Right,
gonna be
he did a
different.
review.
It's gonna be premium.
Yeah, it's gonna be big. It's
Yeah,
gonna
they're
be
gonna
huge.
separate that head
in a
sculpt.
separate
Yep.
case.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're gonna do that for all these too and make it because it was Wonder Woman foam.
Mhm.
Yes.
They'll probably do that for all the artisan. Like DLO,
Kinda like
DLO,
a-
you made a really good point that I didn't think about that being kind of like a short, limited test run of what they're gonna do for artisan. And I
Yeah.
think that's a really good point. I didn't really think about that, but like it's probably gonna be very similar to that.
So like hotcakes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any final thoughts on the Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, the more I see the base, the more I love that base. It's
Yeah, that
actually
base
really-
is badass.
That's a nice base. I'm not crazy
Gotta
about base,
go.
but that's pretty
I
nice.
love the. I mean, I love red too. Like I'm such a sucker for red, and her colors
This
are
looks
always
so good,
cool
but
and
yeah, it's just scary at the same time.
scary.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm terrible.
scary,
I pray to the pleather gods that.
Yeah. So here's your base.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool.
And the clamp, like, where do you clamp that? Where do you put that clamp to not ruin the pleather?
Yeah.
That makes
Oh, you
that's scary.
Put the
for me.
jacket over the clamp.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it over and then.
Put it on the garter belt there, and this. Yeah, that's how I would do it. So if there's any damages on the inside, I can cover with the code in the future.
That would.
I'd
see,
rather
that still
though they had a
bothers me little
levitating
bit.
mode like this. Just
Yeah,
figure out how to levitate.
Of
Is that a
a
separate
magnet
feature?
do a separate magnets.
They're doing like the Inart Superman poll. Is that what's going on here?
Right.
We're opening it up.
Goes
to
right up the
figure.
behind.
Mhm.
Christian says, "Do you guys think they'll release another Anakin like they did the Joker?"
Yes,
I think so. Yeah,
1000%.
especially after Ahsoka. I think we'll get a
promise you.
version.
Yeah,
I promise you,
we're gonna get a sculpted Anakin by from the Ahsoka
Anakin
show.
was the only one that didn't get a sculpted one. I've been telling you, yelling this for months now. There's gonna be
We're
another
saving
Anakin rooted with that head sculpt. You heard it here first. Again,
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right. Let's move on to the Inart announcement. And it is Henry Cavill himself, Mr. Superman. This is everything that is going to come with the Superman. So we have the figure itself. We have the wired cape. We have the draping cape. We have the base. We have the translucent pole. We got the kryptonite spear, a bat, like a cowl, holding the Batman cowl. Like I feel like they tried here. You know, they tried to give us as much as they could because what do you get with a Superman figure? You
That's
know, with
hard.
the Justice League. I think with the Justice League, all it was 4 different hands, and that was it. So I can appreciate this, especially giving me another cape. That's
that's big.
pretty cool in itself.
Yeah.
So a big deal by Inart to go over the top and really try to give you everything they could. So this they showed us the photos a little bit ago, and they've since tweaked it. You know, especially this portrait of Henry Cavill himself, and I think again it looks like to me I'm looking at a photo of him in the suit. It looks that damn good with the head sculpt. I think the eyes look a lot better than they did before. I think the suit looks really good. I know some people were maybe making fun of he's got too much of a 8-pack going on here. It could just be the photo itself and just the angle we're getting. But you get it's kind of like a simplified rock base, but like compared to the Wanda that we just looked at, I do like this a lot because it's not going to be massive, but yet it's enough for me. Like I don't need something crazy. It's nice to get that sometimes, but something like this works for me as well. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of this plate here, but I think I would have just rather had this rock formation. But I think this looks good. I did pre-order this. Very excited for it. But I think I started with DLO last time. So I want to start with Sneaker on this one. What are your thoughts on this? I know you're a DC fan, but it's not something that
Huge.
you
Number one.
collect a lot of. But what does this call to you at all?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think like Superman is just overall in life is such an iconic character. And I feel like, Henry Cavill, obviously he's not going to be cast as him again, that we know of. But this figure just looks, Inart just bringing a heater again. There's a couple, like I think the figure looks awesome. I didn't pre-order this, but I might end up getting it. I want to watch more of the DC movies before I make that determination. Because there's some movies that I haven't seen with this character, and like, there's like I want to watch the Snyder Cut. I haven't seen it, so like there's.
You seen BVS though?
No, I haven't seen BVS.
Oh,
no,
Jesus Christ.
I haven't seen BVS.
Okay, I
man.
take that back. That
Haven't-
he's not a
haven't-
DC fan.
Well, I haven't
I'm
seen
really
BVS.
sorry for that.
I've seen Superman, but I haven't seen BVS.
Saying stupid
So-
stuff, I guess.
So I kind of like did like a little bit of my own. God, don't hate me. I kind of did a little bit of my own like look, like when this came out, looking at like comparison photos. There's some changes that they can make, I think, to the figure. I think, and also it's really hard. It's always hard to tell with lighting because it looks like the suit color's a little bit different when you look at it in the movie versus the figure. Like it looks like there's like a more of like a I don't want to say glimmer, but it's like some type of sheen in the movie.
This is more
not,
of like a mesh.
Yeah, this is like a mesh, and it's like not as shiny. I don't know if shiny is the right word, but it doesn't like. You guys maybe could speak to this more. I'm just going based off of some other like.
Sure.
I tried to do some comparisons. So like see how it's like the other one's like a little bit like the color's a little bit different. Like the blue is a different tone, and then it's not as shiny.
Mhm.
But again, like I don't. You guys can maybe speak to it a little bit more. The only other thing that I think that I don't really like about this is that you can really see the elbow joints on this figure when he's standing it. Like if you go to the photos, you can if you zoom in, you can see the bend at the elbow joints. If in some of these pictures,
the suit is adhering to those sides.
Right.
Yeah,
it is not. That does not look good to me. That hopefully they can do something about that where they change the bend in the elbow. Again, I don't think it's a game breaker or like a game changer for me, deal breaker. But like that's something that kind of stood out to me. So not really like anything crazy. And I think Inart will probably end up just like they've done Batman. I'm sure they're going to come out and do potentially another incremental update with this figure where maybe they will change some things. Because like, they're really big on, I sent you guys that link for like where they do a lot of community feedback. You guys know that too already. But
Yeah.
I think they'll probably make some minor tweaks to this. Again, there's probably more out there that I'm sure some other people can speak to, but those are the main things for me that really stick out as far as what they could change to make this a little bit better. But I really like it. Looks amazing. I think like the alternate head sculpt, yeah, like Graham, how you said you want to
that's what
that
sold
alternate
me.
head sculpt looks so good. So I have my eye on this one. Like I said, I didn't pre-order it. I'm gonna try to watch the movies before like the pre-order window closes on this, because this is one I might consider, just because like I said, Superman is such an iconic character,
Right.
I just haven't seen BVS. But then again, like we probably, who knows what other,
Just don't know how iconic because I never watched the movie.
yeah, well then
But
like,
I hear he's iconic.
well, Superman just in general, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you don't have to necessarily watch that movie. But then again, like we don't know if we're gonna get a figure of this caliber in the near future. Like once they do this one, they're not just gonna probably do another Superman in the near future, but it would probably be waiting a while if I ever wanted to decide to pick one up. So I'm gonna try to, get into it a little bit more and watch it and see, because
That's good.
Yeah.
this is I want
BVS,
I'm going to
DC gets a lot of slack, and it's well deserved. But at the same time, I still do enjoy a lot of their movies. I thought BVS was a lot of fun. I think Snyder Cut Justice League is great. Man of Steel is really good. Have you seen Man of Steel at least?
yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Wonder Woman,
Which I know was a
obviously
bit, which I
really
know
good.
also was a controversial movie for a lot of
Sure.
people because of stuff that happens in Man of Steel.
I
But
feel like it ages better now.
yeah. So and I think DC also just does so well with castings. Like it's gonna be hard to beat him as a Superman, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
and he's like a nerd like us. Like he's a big Superman fan, and
Yeah.
I think this was a dream come true
Gamer,
for him
yeah.
to be able to play
Yeah.
this part. So
Yeah.
he's
same with The Witcher. Like they just it's too bad what's
got
happened
shit
with
on
him. I
with
don't
that
want to
stuff.
get into that, but it's just like the perfect Geralt of Rivia, and they mess it up.
Yeah.
It's too
Yeah.
bad. But I just want to say one more thing, and I'll stop talking. But
Okay.
we can probably talk. We'll probably, once you guys give your opinions, we can have a separate conversation about the display poll. It's all
we'll talk about that.
Roll up the keister.
yeah.
Yeah.
So before I get to DLO here, I want to check in with the chat really quick. just catch back up. So Jazzy says Emo Wanda would be a bargain bin because of cancellation. Yikes! I could see her coming back into stock
for sure
with this one coming. So I could see a lot of waitlist converting, and then all of a sudden she appears in stock because of all that stuff. So I hope that base is USB. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. We got Collecting Madness in the house. What's up, fellow collectors? Mar says the Martha Kent Polaroid pictures seem kind of odd with this release. It did creep me out a little bit to see that, but I like the attention to detail. But yes, it's a little creepy. I like that they're going and giving you as much as they can, but at the same time, it's not something that I would use. Also, Jordan Love looks solid. Yeah, I mean, we got to get that percentage, that completion percentage up a little bit, but outside of that, I think he's looking really good.
I'm just noticing your outfit today, Graham. You literally are like a walking billboard for freaking Wisconsin right now. Jeez.
My Packer Crocs.
Oh.
Yeah, and then the Bucks hat. So it's a big day for us. It's a big day, big week. And we're going to get to 808 Michigan Jedi. I see his comment down there. We're going to have to talk about that really quickly, too. Let's see. Will the Kryptonite Spear and Rock light up like the Hot Toys versions do? I don't know.
Good question. I don't think it will, though. I mean, nothing's had batteries yet for any of their other figures.
So, Inart's going to really get me when they announce this BVS Batman. That's going to be a scary day for me. The BVS Batman Hot Toys was my first ever Hot Toy, and that's like my favorite looking Batman. So that's going to be, I don't know.
This is why I don't want to watch it. This is why I don't want to watch it, because I know I'm gonna want figures from those movies.
You will, yes.
Mm-hmm,
you know,
absolutely.
I don't. It's just going down.
That was my gateway.
Right.
We got Riley reviews in the house. What's going on? Too sweet
What's
to
up,
you,
dude?
my brother. He says, you haven't seen BVS? We're not friends anymore.
I said I'm gonna watch it, guys. Give me a chance.
Well, we gave you a chance. Weeks ago, you were talking about it. Weeks ago.
There's too much going on, man.
Yeah, Striker says, I'm worried that the zipper from over the years might not be strong enough to keep the figure flight mode. I agree, and I'm hoping they tweak that. But at the same time, I was thinking, how often are you really going to zip and unzip it? Like, it's in the back. There's a cape over it. Like, do you need to be constantly zipping and unzipping it, or could you just leave it, plug it in, leave the zipper open? This is just me speculating, so just wondering about that. But either way, it's an odd tweak to an odd way to use, I guess, a flight pole. But I mean, credit to them for not using a waist grabber, right? So I mean, they're trying. That's all I can ask for. Sneaker's right. It's shiny because there's a metallic undersuit Cavill wears in the film, and it peers through something. Hopefully, they can change. Also, too, yeah, using the mesh, it's probably not as easy to get that same shine coming through. Like if you're using like a Spider-Man type of suit, you could have it be like that, like an Iron Spider type of thing. But even the Hot Toys versions, I mean, they're shiny, but I don't know if they're.
I feel like it's got to have to do something with the materials. Like there's probably going to be some compromise there based on what the materials allow them to do if they don't want, like, they're talking about this figure being like not as peeling and cracking as like high quality materials that prevent that from happening potentially, or prolong that. So it'll be interesting to see what they can create to get as close as possible without the material being too fragile.
Yeah, gonna miss Cavill as Superman. You know, and it's not like Batman where we've had so many that everybody has their favorite Batman. This is really just Christopher Reeve and Henry Cavill. And we love them both, but like this is a lot of people's Superman. Like this is all they know. So, you know, it's a big deal coming out. But 808 Michigan Jedi says Lions 34, Packers 21 final. I don't know. I hope it's closer than that. But we'll see. It should be a good game. I will admit, the last couple of years, the Lions have started to kind of have our number a little bit. So happy for all the Detroit Lions fans that are able to finally cheer for something. I know they lost in Lambeau like 20 some years straight. So it's good that you got something to cheer about. It's
so petty of you.
I commend you for that.
It's so petty of you.
And
the compliments.
Yeah. 17-point comeback. He killed it. Going down tomorrow night. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, we'll see. I could see it going either way, to be honest. Should be a really good game, though. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Without further ado, I want to get D'Lo's thoughts on this because D'Lo, unlike Sneaker, has seen the movies and shares
multiple
my true
times.
DC love with me. So
Sorry,
Yes.
guys.
this is something that we bond over. You know, DC.
Yeah,
So
that's our thing. That's our thing.
Yeah.
No one can take that away from us. Yeah, get out of here. DC talk now. Shoot, get on.
play with your
Get
Star
on.
Wars figures.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good figure. It's a good figure. Listen, I pride myself being a DC guy, so this is uber critical for me. And the one thing is, I think it's safe to say we can be critical with Inart because the one thing I will give credit to Inart about is they are very accepting of feedback from the community. I think that's been a big strength to their strategy is listen to the community and figuring out, how to get the figures that they're releasing closer to what we remember them looking like in the film. So I give them a lot of credit for that. I saw somebody post the other day an original prototype of Aragorn back in the early days of when they were working on it, and it looked nothing like it looks like today. Nothing like it. And I saw they've done that with Gandalf. Gandalf, they did a lot of tweaks for that there. So, I want to talk about it, and I hope somebody hears it, and I hope somebody jumps in and critiques it with me too, because I want this to be the best possible Superman. I really do. I genuinely am not crazy about the Hot Toys one. I think it was good for its time, but I definitely feel like it has shown its age, and I'm fiending for a much higher quality version of this character and this specific actor of it too, because I think Henry Cavill's head sculpts between this and the Witcher third parties that have been announced, like from So Toys and I forget the other company, I'm noticing that it's very hard to get his likeness down. Like Henry Cavill is a very challenging head sculpt to really master, specifically when he has a resting face like this. Like this looks really good compared to the original prototype that we saw there, so it is an improvement. I'm not going to knock on it, but I think it can be better. And the reason why I think it can be better is because of the second head sculpt that they're including with the angry face there. That one I feel like is so much more honed in on the likeness of Henry Cavill, and I think it's easier because you can really get expression. Look at that. See the jawline protruding there. The cheekbones are kind of getting sucked into the face. I mean, it is intense, but that is damn good. That's damn good shit right there.
This is probably how I would display it too. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
I like it a lot, but honestly, I want the relaxed face to match the quality of this face here. I feel like this one is what's going to make people pre-order. I think I heard you say, Graham, that you're probably going to display them with this head sculpt if you had a choice. And I think the other one deserves a little bit more love. I think it's getting close there, and I want to have the option to go use both at some point because it looks incredible. What I'm not happy about is the suit. The suit is definitely tough for me because honestly, it's not that it's a bad suit. It's that it reminds me too much of Hot Toys' suit. It looks too much like it there. I've never been a fan of the mesh material. It looks similar to the suit in the movie, but the suit is a hardened rubber, actually, that is what he's actually wearing. So it's much more like shinier because of the undersuit, but also because of the material that it's not an actual mesh. It's rubber, what the suit is actually made out of from the movie. And the thing for what's nice about the rubber is the pros of it there is it makes the muscular parts of the body, the physique, pop out and accentuate certain parts of it here. Like his shoulders, his arms, they're all supposed to be very big. His abs are supposed to be, they kind of like cut into the suit to make it look stronger abs wise, but that's okay. But I think there's too much of a sacrifice on accuracy to posability because I feel like they choose this type of material because it's a lot more posable. It's easier on a figure. For me personally, I would rather have the more accurate suit in this situation here. I wanted to look as closer. I wish we had an actual screenshot of what it looks like from BVS because I'm looking at one right now. It's definitely a thicker kind of suit material there. Then there it goes. Thank you.
Yeah, like this is definitely a difference.
I mean, this is a huge difference there. I mean, if you're looking at the two there together, then you can clearly see that this is like a complete night and day when it comes to the material. Look at the muscular structure on his thighs. The legs look great.
Thighs, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a little bit exaggerated because in actual stills, he doesn't look that thick. But I think the body looks good. But I think that you see how like it has the suit, it has like rises in muscular like definition on the curves on it there. So it almost like makes it look like those are actual muscles going through the suit, where it's actually just sculpted into the suit itself. I feel like that's where the details are lacking. I think the suit proportions look off, and the torso looks way too high for what Henry Cavill actually looks like there. So it's a little tough. I know it's a little tough love. I know some people are not going to agree with that there, but you know, I want this feedback out there, because if I'm going to pre-order this here, which FYI guys, I haven't yet, but I will. I'm just not going to pre-order day one like
Not
I
a true
have
fan.
else. No, it's just because I know the thing is going to be open. Kit's gonna, oh guys, we just found more. I'll be able to pre-order this for a full year. I'm not worried about this there. I'm not getting pressured to doing this again. They got me 3 times. I already feel like an idiot.
Yeah, Aragorn's still up. Even though they closed the window, Aragorn, you can still get him right now for
sure. So it's just like, and I got Aragorn back at the beginning of the year. So I mean, we're now
at any time.
Exactly. But my point is, I really, really want. I'm rooting for Inart on this one. I really want this one to knock it out the park at all levels, because I just feel like this Superman version of Superman, this is the one that I can say is my Superman. My dad's Superman was like, you know, Christopher Reeve, and I love Christopher Reeve, don't get me wrong, but you know, it was before my time. This one is like exactly around my age. I can enjoy this one here. I want my definitive Superman from my generation. So yeah, I want them still working the suit. I think the body needs a little bit of work on it there. I like where it's headed. I really want them to do a little bit more to get that relaxed face to get at least as close as possible to that angry face sculpt, because I think the angry sculpt is perfect, in my humble opinion, for where it's at now. So a couple tweaks, it's getting there, but you know, I need them to just make a few changes. And I think I'll be much happier. And they got to do something about that stupid flight pole. That's another one there too. I didn't touch on that there, but that one irritates me, because if I put it in that position for an extended period of time, that is going to ruin the material of the suit. 1,000%.
You think so?
No, they said they're using something that is
different,
peel proof, and
it can like prevent. It's like to basically like it's a higher quality material that will prevent flaking and cracking versus like a typical suit.
Yeah, that's horseshit. That's not going to actually happen.
What part of this do you think would get stressed to the point of it degrading the suit though? Like, this to me doesn't look like, in this picture, I'm just going to be devil's advocate for this topic, because what part of the suit in this photo with this inserted do you think is going to be stressed to the point where it's going to degrade the suit?
Perfect. So the highlighted lines, look where the zipper is, exactly where the pole
like
is.
the highlighted lines that are coming down like around the curve of the
you can see the blue highlighted lines there. You can see them bumping up. They're elevated there. Now again, it's prototype, so they can of course fix this, right? And we can be totally wrong about this, and this can be a non-issue, and apparently they discovered, you know, material that they use on the shuttle to fix this. I don't know, whatever they're gonna do. but yeah, I think based off of history knowledge here, like, I don't know any material in the world, whether it be 1/6 figures or human clothes, that if you put something in some kind of position for a very long time, that it will just rebound just like that. Jazzy with the freaking $1 million idea.
Jazzy. I said it.
You know, something.
Yeah. What would you have them do, DLO? What do you think is a better idea? Some people were saying like magnets. I don't think magnets is.
Why not though? But that's the thing though. I heard that too. Not to cut you off, Sam. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Like,
you're good.
I heard the same theory as well too. Why not the magnets there? And you know what? I kind of agree with that as well too, because you know what? You're building your whole thing about how you want it to be realistic, this, that, and the other. You were too good to give everybody a crotch grabber. We're looking for realism, right? That's what their spokesperson says on every stream, you know, on YouTube these days, right? We're looking for realism. That's why we don't do this. We got the magnetic base. Okay, then if you really want to be different, this is not that much of an improvement. Because say what you will about the dynamic pole and the waist grab that goes with it that can deteriorate the suit, I don't think this is much of an improvement. I think this is a compromise, because maybe it does hold up. Maybe it doesn't. I doubt it. It's, you know, I'm sorry. It's still a $400 figure. There's only so much money you're going to throw at something like this here. I think this really is this fact is, well, if it damages my suit, it's covered by the cape. And I think that's where it really comes down to there. So I don't know. For me, I say if you're all about realism, do the magnets. put some strong ass magnets in that thing and let that thing stick on there. If you think that's the way to go with your bases, do it for your flight pole. But like, don't compromise and make you.
Yeah,
but don't. But that's the thing though. It's either that or risk it here.
Fans in the base, and it blows the figure. And it hovers.
So let me ask you this: if they said to you, we guarantee this isn't going to rip the fabric or degrade the fabric with using this pole, would you use it?
Wait, say that. I'm sorry.
If they told you there's no way this flight pole is going to damage the suit, would you do it? Like, would you use it? Or I guess if you get this figure, are you going to use this option?
I can tell you that this is going to happen, and then it happens 3 years down the road, long after I've given you my money, and I'm stuck with a figure that is now damaged. That if I wanted to sell it, I can't sell it now for what I paid for it, right? Because no one's going to want to pay for a damaged figure at the same price of what I paid for it. So, yeah, I can. That's a snake. That's a snake salesman oil scheme right there. That makes me no difference. That unless you're going to give me a warranty, then what are we talking about? I can care less of what you say it is. You know what I mean? Put your money where your mouth is.
This is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be an interesting one of what happens to this figure down the line. But Graham, what are your thoughts?
I worry more about the zipper than the actual suit, because I've on my Justice League Superman, the zipper doesn't even work. It's so small and frail that it just jams up. You can't even unzip them if you wanted to. And
yeah,
I think it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers DLO, just because, like I said before, if it's behind the figure, obviously I don't want it to be damaged because that'll bother me in the back of my head. But if this is how it works, I can be okay with it, because I'll just leave it like this even when he's standing there, and I won't mess with it. So it'll just kind of plug in and then unplug. I think it would have been nice if they could have figured something out, because you still see those translucent poles, right? Those transparent poles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's better, and I can applaud them for trying, but at the same time, I don't know what else you do to get these figures to look like they're hovering without seeing anything, you know?
There's not much you can really do. You can't do anything other than use a clear acrylic if you're going to anchor it to something, you know, to make it look like that. So I guess for me, it's like, I think they're trying to be innovative, number one, which they kind of have been. They're trying to the magnetic bases. There's been trial and error there. They've had issues. They're definitely trying to be innovative here, which I think is a good thing to try. I think the bottom line is this going to work without damaging the suit is my main question. I don't have a problem with this, because another thing is, I think I don't have a problem with this as long as the quality holds for the suit. That would be my biggest thing. If this in any way, shape, or form is going to damage or risk damaging the suit, then that's a problem, like you're saying, DLO. So I guess this is going to come down to your trust in the company and whether or not it's going to damage it. And if it was to get damaged, what do you do at that point from this? Another thing I want to say too is, like, with the zipper, it's not like you have to put the zipper all the way down to the like hole for the pole. You could open the zipper up a little bit more, so there's a little bit more play in the suit there, so that it's not stressing the material as much. You know what I mean? So you don't have to zip it all the way down like they're doing here, where it's actually putting stress on the areas. Just open it up a little bit more so it's a little loose, and that way it's not stressing the material, because it looks like this base actually, the hole, like there's a hole for this to go directly into. It's not like it's going to be sitting on the material. It's going to go right into an acrylic, you know, like hole in there for the base pole. Friction. So yeah, so I think you're not really going to get a whole, like a weight on the actual zipper and suit itself. They're going to create, like, it looks like it's a sturdy, you know, entry point for the, like, for the flight pole. So yeah, I guess it just all depends on, they really have to like Q&A this and make sure.
Well, the thing is, you know, someone put in the chat what I was actually going to say myself here. So Born Again, shout out to you, dude, for pointing this out here. Why doesn't it plug in similar to an Iron Spider? That would be more ideal, at least for this particular figure, until you figure out a better solution. Why not have like maybe one or two holes, one on each side of the back there, where you can have something that looks exactly like the material that it's supposed to be like in the suit. Have those unplugged and then stick something there, because at least from that, you're not destroying the suit. It's covered by the cape, and at the same time, you're not putting your figure in a potential situation to deteriorate over time, because you're almost assisting it. Because I understand what you're saying. Like, yeah, I mean, it's protruding out, so it's not necessarily touching the figure. But bottom line is, if that thing is open for an extended period of time, it's going to take a while for it to heal back up, if it does at all. And then eventually at some point,
you're saying if you were to zip it shut and you pulled on the suit, you're saying?
well, I'm saying if you have
Leave
if
it
you had it in
unzipped.
this flight stand mode for X amount of time, let's say, because not every collector, changes their pose every single month. Not everyone's that diligent. Some people leave it in there for a very long time. I know sometimes I do with my figures, right? And the thing that'll happen each time will be like, well, the figure is stressed out, and then I got to leave it in a relaxed state for a very long time in the hope to get it back to as close as it was when I first got it. And not every figure bounces back that fast, and not some figures don't bounce back at all. So, for me, I don't like the idea of knowing ahead of time that I'm going to be putting my figure in a potential position to be damaged by my hands, because that is the way I have to do it if I want to display with that option. I mean, some people will say, well, just don't use a flight pole. And normally I would agree with you, but the problem is it's Superman, guys. Superman flies. That is 90% of the stuff he does. So, if I can't put him in a traditional Superman pose, then what are we doing here, right?
But so is this going to be another situation where you buy a custom base?
Oh yeah, he is for sure.
I mean, I do, anyways. But that's the point.
I'm just asking because I know you do it for a lot of.
I do. Shout out to my boy.
Do you see yourself doing that for this figure? Like when you get it,
I don't want to. I want to be able to use these displays here, and it's just like
frustrating.
Hot Toys has
it's frustrating if that's how you feel about it.
No, but the thing is, like, Hot Toys has terrible bases. Like, I don't like their hexagon bases. I don't like those there. I think they take up too much space. They're too tall. I prefer more of a low key kind of base there. This one's pretty good. I mean, some people say like it could be more, exciting. I'm okay with it because it's a low profile and it can get the job done in theory. But I need a better solution than opening up my figure to stick a pole in his back, to forget that I have it like that and forget it. Then I go back 6 months down the road, a year from now, and the figure in the back is messed up or loose or damaged and it doesn't respond back. So I don't want to have to take that risk. And I think this is good in theory, but execution is poor. I would probably recommend they do what Born Again said there. So again, shout out to you again, Born Again, for bringing up the idea. Do the plug system. Take a little 2 ports out, one on each side, plug it into the pole securely like that, and then presto bam, it's covered by the cape, and you're not stressing out the suit and not forcing me to mess up my own figure over time. It seems weird. It's like I'm volunteering my figure to destroy it. Like it feels weird to me to even think.
It's a good. It's a good option. It's something to think about. I'm sure the reason why they didn't do it like the Iron Spire is because you already had the zipper there anyway. So they're probably like, why don't we just unzip it a little bit and right in the back? Where the Iron Spiders, it's stitched to the side, so the suit's stitched up. Where this one, same with the Hot Toys, they have that zipper in the back. But I don't know. Maybe they'll change it. It obviously seems to be kind of a hot topic in the community, so I'm sure they're aware of it. But I want to give Sunnyvale Russ a shout out too, because he says, with the magnets thing, that might wear the fabric by pinching it over time. You got the friction because it, if it moves or you could deteriorate the suit that way too. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the lesser of evil, but again, this could also deteriorate the suit as well. So who knows? Really quick, we got good old Spotchka in the house. What is going on, my friend? Thank you for being here. Yeah, we gave Born Again a shout out, but thank you for being here. We got David in the house. What's going on? He's all in on that soups. The Transcendent Black Superman figure has a genius magnet stand and a genius light head system. Spotchka's gonna be mad if that suit deteriorates over time. It's his first Inart pre-order. It is holding via friction. How secure is it? Don't want it to fall over time. Get nose paint rub. That would suck.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't fall.
But outside of that, probably some stuff to work on here, but they got time. This probably isn't coming out for another year. What do you guys think of the cool cowl with the sculpted hand that holds it? So the hand actually plugs in and he's already holding the cowl, kind of like you did in BVS. You guys for that? Against it? Don't care?
Love it. I love that. I think it's such an interesting thing to do, to add to the figure there that doesn't have a lot of accessories to begin with. And on top of that too, just like the hand looks so more realistic as opposed to trying to like squeeze it into a hand that's right,
Cradling.
kind of doing the hover thing where the helmet's like hanging in the hand like this. So I mean, I like this. I think, this is really well thought out of, and I think it's a excellent accessory to have, especially if this is a tease for possibly a Dark Knight version, a Nightmare Batman there, or obviously I think the BVS one has already been confirmed they're going to do one.
So
but
was Dark Knight. And
yeah,
Bale,
I think having this hand accessory plus the angry head sculpt would look so sick.
Yeah.
That's, you almost want to get like 2 of these, honestly. I'm not going to, but you'd want to get 2 because both head sculpts are so good and you could do so many things. Like, that's one of the problems I've had with my Superman is always, how do I pose him? He's just standing there or he's just floating there. What can I do? Like, I'm thankful that Inart is giving us some of these accessories that we're going to be able to put them in some awesome poses that maybe we haven't done before. The hands look great. They did really good job with obviously Gandalf, Joker, all their hands, very very good attention to detail there. And then,
it's so nice.
Yeah, everything here again that you get. So any final thoughts on this, guys? DLO, you're in, just not sure when.
Yeah, I'm in. I want to see another update. I want to see some more progress here. It's still super early, like you said. This is definitely a huge improvement from the first time we've seen. The first time I saw it was an absolute pass. So I'm starting to learn. Give them a chance with Inart. Let them do another update, show you there, and show the progress. And like I said, guys, if you can find the original photo, I recommend Googling that Aragorn that they first showed.
Wild.
And then look at the one that we're going to be getting real soon. Listen, I'm bitching because I want this figure. I want it to be the best it possibly can be. There's a lot of good ideas here. The fact you get 2 capes, 2 head sculpts, some really nice hands. The photos are a little weird. It's kind of creepy, the Martha photos on that there. But, yeah, kind of a little...
Good detail. I mean, it's a small ass photo.
Like some of their accessories are questionable.
Who's gonna hold Superman like that?
Not necessarily just for this figure, but some of their accessories, I'm just like, I would never display a figure with that. But that goes for so many figures that get released. Hot Toys in art, it doesn't matter.
But you know what?
Stay in the box.
But even just having them like you do, like Joker money or Joker cards, like having him at his feet or something, and he's got the the angry face.
That's true. Kind of sprinkle them on the base.
Cool stuff with it too.
Yeah. But no, I think it's great. I think it's in the right direction. I think it just needs it needs some tweaking. I want that suit to change, man.
Yeah.
It reminds me too much of the Hot Toys one, and I don't like the Hot Toys one, so I want there to be more definition. That dude is jacked to the gills, and he needs to look like that.
Do you think though that this will be the definitive version in 1/6 scale that we get? This will top all the ones that we've gotten previously?
It'll be so far, but I mean, we haven't talked about this yet, and I'm not sure if you guys heard of this, but J&D Studios is going into the 1/6 game as well too. You heard about that, right?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. J&D Studios is going into, and I'm a big fan of their stuff. They do tremendous
$800 6 scale figures. Cool.
I mean, get ready for the Artisan DLX 2000, 5100 Artisan line, whatever they're going to want to call that one there when that comes out. But who cares? But yeah, J&D Studios, I am a big fan of their work. The Batman looks super clean. Have you seen that statue? The Robert Pattinson Batman from J&D Studios?
Yeah, it looks great.
It's clean. They can do some work. And if they go into the space there, I mean, it could make things very interesting. You're talking about 3 potential licensed 1/6 companies with the same license options there. That could be a very interesting drag out fight there between them there. So collectors win. But yeah, for sure. I think to answer your question, yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be the definitive one way or the other. I think it already looks like it's better than the Hot Toys one. Of course, I say that, and then Hot Toys will announce a new one after the stream here. Hold my beer. Okay, DLO, you said they're better. We'll see about that. But hey, I'm all for it. Options are a good thing. But yeah, I think Inart is in the right direction. I think it definitely will be a very good version of Superman to have for quite some time until the next guy comes around and makes another one there. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna get it. I want to bitch so they can fix it, because it seems like that's how it works. I respect them for that. We complain, they fix it. So I'm putting in my review now on that and fix it, and I'll buy it. I promise.
They're inviting that though.
They are, and I respect that. I respect that. I mean, you're inviting criticism, but you're using that criticism to make your product better. And I wish Hot Toys I wish Hot Toys did that more often. Other than when
polar opposite of what Hot Toys is.
It's like we have to riot to get a head sculpt fixed if they make a shitty one. Where we'll have a discussion, we'll agree to disagree on a lot of points of the figure, but they'll listen to it all and apply what they can do, and they will update you, let you know that they're still working on it. So, I'm not 100% sold on the company, but I think that if there's one thing you can always give them credit for, what I've seen so far with all the figures that have been released, they take community feedback pretty seriously, and they apply a lot of it. So,
I think they genuinely want to make the changes and make the figure better than what they're doing.
I feel like they absolutely have to, because they want.
And they have been too.
They want to be considered premium. So if you're going to be premium, I mean, it's a double-edged sword here. You gotta be the best. You gotta beat the competition here. And if you're asking for top dollar for these here more than your competitor is, who's well more established than you are, you can't afford to have a flop right now, especially not this early in the game. We're only officially up to 3 with more on the way. So that's not a lot. That is not a lot to rest your hat on, especially when Hot Toys is up to over 600. For better or worse, they're way ahead of you there. So, the fact that they're taking community feedback, I know they're doing this because they need to do this right now, but I hope if they become bigger than what they are and they become a full staple in the 1/6 community, that they don't go away from that and they keep doing that for every figure.
Well said, DLO. Well said. Sneaker, any final thoughts on the Inart Soups?
No, I don't think so. I think, I echo kind of some of the stuff that DLO says. I wouldn't consider it bitching necessarily, because they're inviting feedback, and I think we have, they want to hear what collectors have to say. We're the ones getting their products, and it seems like they're priding themselves on, we're taking your community feedback seriously. Please message us, email us, whatever, send your thoughts. We want to hear what you have to say about this figure so that we can get it right. We want it to be the most realistic that we can get it. And they've shown that with the first figures that they've done. With, they made the tweaks for the Batman, which is looking amazing. Can't wait for that one to come out. Probably going to end up getting that one. They're going to make changes for this. They already have made changes. They already made the logo bigger on the chest. They've already implemented changes before they showed the pre-order photos for the prototype. So they're already doing that. So at this point, you got to give them credit for what they've done, even though they take a while to release figures and there's some distribution things that they need to work out. You have to give them credit for what they've been doing, because they've been releasing obviously some incredible figures, and I don't think this one's going to be any different. So that's what I'll say about that. I'm excited for this one. And like I said, when I'm looking for definitive versions of figures that I want to get, this is what the type of stuff that I look for. Yeah. Same with Inart the Batman. Pattinson Batman I really enjoyed that movie, and that's a figure that I want to get, and theirs is one that I think looks really, really good. So, yeah.
What's going on, Texas Finest? Who says, interested to see what innovations J&D can bring to the 1/6 market. Yeah, it'll be pretty cool to see. I'm really excited for this Superman as well. I'm very looking forward to getting it. I have the Justice League, and then the 2-pack with the Nightmare Batman, and I know a lot of people were kind of upset that it's pretty much just a reissue, just with the black suit. They didn't update the head sculpt and stuff like that. So I mean, I wouldn't disagree with people that say that Hot Toys can be complacent, but when you've done what they've done, sometimes that just happens. They're kind of sitting on their mountain alone, so they can be complacent. And hopefully with these other companies coming into play, maybe, I think we've already kind of seen it with this Artisan line and whatnot, that they're starting to do a little bit more, while at the same time, I still think they're complacent with the Wonder Woman and some of this other stuff. But, that's all subjective to what your opinions are. But yes, for me, this will be the definitive version of Superman for me. I think it looks a lot better than the Hot Toys ones that we've had. So yeah, bring it on. Looking forward to getting it. With that being said, we're going to go to our last segment for the night, and this is going to be a new segment, guys. So this is going to be called, as soon as I find it here, this is called Overreaction Wednesday. So I'm going to ask the boys, I'm going to give them some topics, and they're going to pick a topic, and with that, I'm going to ask them a question, and they're going to tell me if this is an overreaction or not. And they're going to explain why, and then, we can chime in too if we want. So who wants to go first?
Sneaker.
I'll go first.
Sneaker can go first. All right. So these are the topics that you can pick from.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
Inart forecast. Reap what you sow. Invisible Drax. And Lost in a Galaxy Far, Far Away.
Oh,
I'm actually going to go with. I'm actually going to go with Reap What You Sow.
damn! I wanted that one. All right.
All right. All right. Let's see. Which one was that here? That is... So, Sideshow caused collectors not to buy at retail prices. They've trained us to not buy at retail anymore. So they send us these $20 codes, and they don't do anything anymore because we're seeing all these figures sell for way under retail, and they've done these BOGOs, and they've done these 30% deals every day. You have a different deal. So they've trained us to not buy figures at retail. Is that an overreaction or not?
This is tough.
You wanted it.
Well, this is a tough answer because there's two sides of this. You have Sideshow, who is giving coupons, but you also have all the people on Facebook who are saying, hey, I want this figure, looking to get it for around 200 shipped when it's a $375 shipped figure. So I'm going to say, I'm going to say not an over. I don't think it's an overreaction. Is that the answer I'm supposed to, if I can do overreaction or not, right? I would say no. I think honestly, I think what's happened is I don't think it's them. I think it's the secondary market that's really done this, because I think it's the secondary. I put more blame on that because people are selling figures for pennies on the dollar, and they were giving, like, I saw somebody like a bark speeder for $200 shipped today for the bark speeder. Like, that's, yeah, somebody's selling a loose bark speeder for $200. No, you said you didn't want it
For $200. Like,
that thing just came out with a figure, and it's a $600 thing. Like, that's when people are giving things away like this, essentially. Well, I shouldn't say that, but when you're, we all know, we all talk about it. We all talk about, like, wow, this is just a hell of a deal. We send each other photos of deals like, wow, this is crazy that this is happening. These deals on the secondary market are a lot lower than what you're buying on Sideshow. So I don't think it's Sideshow's fault. I think the secondary market has caused this problem, and Sideshow is trying to pick up the pieces on their end because they can't sell anything because of what the secondary market is doing. I don't think it's their doing. I think it's the people's doing in collecting. That's what I'll say, because people are selling their figures for so cheap, and when you sell at that level, what follows? Other people who are selling figures.
Well, I've seen it sell for this, so that's
I can't sell it for anything more than that because everybody's buying it at this. You know what I mean? So I would say I would not put as much blame. I think it's not an overreaction. I would put more on the market chaos right now, more so on what's happening in the secondary market. Because also I rarely buy from Sideshow because of the market. That's kind of my point, is I don't go to Sideshow because the market is so much cheaper. So it's not. I wouldn't blame Sideshow for that. I blame what's going on in the secondary market for that.
Very well said. DLO, any rebuttal or just thoughts on that?
I'm allowed to. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
if you just want to give me your thoughts on that too, but
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I'll keep it simple.
And now we're not friends.
We'll keep it simple. I gotta go, guys.
This is your last show. No. Get it.
Everything.
No, we love you, Drew. We love you. We love you. No. I mean, listen. I hear what you're saying. I mean, you make a valid point about the secondary market. I think it's a trickle down effect. The Sideshow never used to give discounts. The $25, $20 coupons. Those are about as good as it gets when it comes to deals from them. Daily deals didn't exist, but daily deals was created because of a necessity, not because they wanted to give us deals. They don't want to take a loss. They just have to take a loss at this point because they have too much in stock.
Right.
But I think the problem here, the real problem is, it started with not Sideshow or even Hot Toys for that matter. It really, unfortunately, I don't want to bring these guys up because it's taboo to talk about these guys, but it started with Toys Wonderland. Bottom line, period. That's where it came down. It comes from there. I mean, the first time I saw a Toys Wonderland deal, and I mean a stupid deal, like what was believe it, one of your favorites? It's actually no. It was actually Short Troopers from Mando and from Rogue One. The Squad Leader and the Grunt. Those are the first ones I ever saw. And not only were they a deal, I mean, that was the first hot toy I've seen in maybe 4.5 years that was under $200. It wasn't just a deal. It was a stupid deal. It was a deal where it's just like, it made you question everything you ever bought, because how could you justify that price under, I think it was like 150, 160 or some crazy nonsense like that. It was absurd to see. Everybody jumped on that. It did well. Of course it did, because everybody knew what a deal it was. Now, did everybody need that figure? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it was too good of a deal to pass up. How many times have you heard that one before?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
On it.
Okay.
Guilty.
So now we have figures that under normal circumstances we would have never bought because we weren't interested, but we bought it because it was so much of a good deal. And you know what that does next? I have it. Yeah, I got a good deal for it there, but you know what? It's not. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit my collection. Oh no, it doesn't work for what I'm working
my
for.
Collection.
It doesn't fit there, you know. No, it's not the direction I want to take. All those little things that collectors say. Shout out to Shane.
Six figure focus.
But now it goes to the secondary market. Now, someone sees you post that up there, and you're like, hey, you know what? I bought it for 150. Let me see if I can get it for 180. Well, we didn't suddenly forget it's a 160, it's 150 in Toys Wonderland, jerk off. Okay, we know that. We saw the same deal. We didn't do it. But now you got that there. And it's not heated. It's just the facts of it here. It's just someone just has to say that. Don't put me on the big screen.
Wait, so wait, are you saying that it is Sideshow's
you guys
fault?
agree, actually. You guys do agree.
Oh, wait, no.
I agree with parts of it there, but here's the thing. Sideshow's the victim. As much as I hate to say that in the same sentence, they are the victim here. But the fact of the matter is, now you have a product that everybody knows was this price at this website over here, and they have a good chance they know how much you paid for it. No way I'm going to pay your price, because I know I could have got it directly from them for this price. Right. So I'm not going to get your price. And then here's poor collector over here who actually bought it from Sideshow. Hi. Yeah.
Hello.
No, not me, but that guy, right? I pre-ordered. I did my payment plans. I was a good boy. I even saved up and used some points to get it. All right, you know what? I don't want this figure anymore. I changed my mind. I'm gonna try to sell it for $225. No one will respond to you. No one. Maybe a trade if you're lucky, but no one's gonna respond to you there. So, So guess what? Now the secondary market looks really shitty right now. And what does Sideshow have to do? Sideshow the victim over here. And again, don't like to use that in the same sentence, but they are like, shit. Well, we've got a whole batch of these figures, and we don't give discounts. So now we have to, because no one will buy them from us, because everybody bought them everywhere else, and they're all unloaded for practically 30%, 40% off than what we are paying for, or we're charging for that there. So is it the community's fault? No. We did what collectors would normally do. We always are looking for good deals. Find the best deal. And that's what we did. But the problem is, we found the best deal. It wasn't for the best figure that fit for our directions, for our collections, and all that stuff like that. And we wound up flipping it and selling it for a ridiculous dirt price deal. And now there's so much of stuff floating around, even good stuff, like really good stuff that's out there for stupid prices. And they're still not being sold. Because while we were all screwing up the market, Hot Toys continue to announce more and more figures we want. And now we're like, shit, what do we do now? I'm sitting on all these great deal figures that I got for a stupid deal. No one wants my stupid deal prices. So I guess I just got to.
Do you blame Sideshow for that?
No, he said they're the victim.
No, they're the victim.
Okay. So we are on the same side.
We are.
Wait, was the question? Wait, hold on. Was the question, Graham? Do we blame? Is it an overreaction to blame Sideshow?
You blame the community. I blame Toys Wonderland,
which is a secondary market seller.
Sideshow caused collectors to not buy
the same way.
Prices.
I don't see it the same way.
Sideshow
you guys agreed.
So it would be an overreaction then to that statement. Not what I said initially. It's an overreaction because there's other variables. Sideshow. This wasn't. So DLO, you agree, or you agree with me in the fact that it wasn't the community, but it was Toys Wonderland.
I don't like agreeing with you. How about that?
Well, I'm just saying that Toys Wonderland is a secondary market reseller, so therefore
I don't see them that
they're
way.
included in the community because you're getting them from a source outside of.
They may be
Sideshow.
considered a reseller, and you're absolutely 100% right about that there. But
Disagree
collectors
with me,
do not
D'Lo, for
see them.
once. Make my day.
No, that's fine.
No.
Challenge accepted, motherfucker.
I do remember in Sideshow, you'd see 10%, and you almost had to jump at it because you were. Just
Yeah,
like,
you had to.
wow,
You absolutely. What
Well,
free shipping?
I'm
So,
getting
well,
this.
well,
I'm
I'm
getting
on
this
it.
under retail. This is crazy.
Oh my
Now
god,
it's
hell yes.
Yeah.
30%. No,
You
I
know,
want
you
more.
have to normally wait for like a Black Friday deal or something like that
Right.
to get like a decent price on something here.
15%. Oh, it's once a year.
Get back to you, Sneak. I'm not done with you, pal. So
Leave me alone, man.
no,
D'Lo, we
Toys
agree,
Wonderland,
bro. We're done.
it may be a reseller, but to some people, maybe not you and me, but other collectors, that was a number one stop to get their figures. So I don't
Yeah,
look at
sure.
it that way. So I mean, they're not authorized officially like Sideshow is, but they certainly act like that. They were. I mean, they
buy
had
them up from authorized.
they buy them from
dealers,
the same people we would buy them from. So
everybody.
end of the day, man, fucking Toys Wonderland, fuck yourself. I really hate you.
There you
really
go.
you made this
That was a
miserable for me.
good first one. That was.
Reap
that
what you
was,
sow. Reap what you sow, bitch.
Yeah. That was good. Really quickly before we move on with this overreaction game, let's see. We got
was a
David
good game.
from Israel,
That
6
was
a.m.
great.
in the morning. All right. Thanks
Dang,
for being
welcome,
here.
man. It's awesome.
Let's see. Kumar says, "Welcome to capitalism. The best
Yeah.
person to provide the best deal and service wins, but not if you're losing money doing that." Nobody's putting a gun to collector's head to buy any figure. It's easy to blame others rather than take responsibility.
No weapons were pulled out, but damn it, did they pull out a hell of a deal?
Yep.
Yeah.
You'd be
And
almost
then
inhuman not to.
everybody follows suit when they sell the same figure. You know, you always. What happens? I'll give you an example.
Because you want to sell it, so you
Yeah,
you need to beat that.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. Today I saw a Boba Fett 2-pack. Okay, the damaged Boba Fett with Tuscan Boba Fett, $375 shipped. I just kept on scrolling. I'm like, this is a ridiculous price because this thing's going for $275, $300 shipped because
Yeah.
that's what everybody's selling it for. You know, the community has done that to itself because everybody lower prices. That thing's like a $450 retail set. You're getting that Sideshow for $500 shipped.
Easily.
After people are
Easily.
selling it for $275, $300. You know, you see $375, which
Rescue's a
which
perfect
is a
example as
crazy
well.
deal too. $375 is a good, would it be considered a good deal or a sale on that figure? But people are selling it for $275, $300.
And it's
So
almost
this-
like you're
this is
even
killing
if you see a good deal, and then maybe that might be the lowest one in the market right now. Your gut's telling you you should hold out anyways because there might be an even better deal,
Yeah.
which is shitty
Yes.
because anybody who's thinking about selling it don't want to put their figure on the market just for it to just sit there, you know. So yeah, man, good times, good topics. This was fun. We should do this every week. No,
All right. I think we might actually. We'll see.
no.
All right. Next one is
That's
it's
only the
D'Lo's
first one.
turn. So
I feel like I
D'Lo,
just
you
had my
have
turn. I need a break. Jeez.
you have Inart forecast. You have
Okay.
Invisible Drax or Lost in a Galaxy Far Away.
You know what? Dealer's choice. Pick for me.
Let's go with. We're gonna stick with Inart. We're gonna do the Inart forecast. So
Give me an art. Okay.
Inart will go under due to their high prices. I'm just gonna say in like a year or two, Inart will be
Year or
going
two?
under because their prices are too high and they're not competing
Nah.
with Hot Toys. So
Nah.
is that an overreaction or?
That's an overreaction. That's an overreaction there. They haven't been around long enough to fail, if that makes sense. It's just, what do they say? Most business finish in fail in the first 3 years. It hasn't even been 3
Right.
years yet. That would be, if people are not flocking to Inart by now, then yes, that would be right on track here. But they have a very passionate fan base. Now, how many people that actually means is really buying the figures, I don't know. They don't release their numbers, right? So, we're all speculating. But even if it's just the loud 10% of the community buying their figures and preaching up and down of the quality of the figure, that's still sustainable at their price range to meet their number expectation. And considering that they're not claiming to be limited to a specific number there, and they're open up pre-waitlist windows and things of that nature, then they're clearly still looking to get more of the market share. So Will they be in a year from now? If they were to fill, it wouldn't be a year from now. It would probably be maybe closer to year 4 or 5 for something like this here. So if they were to go under, it just depends, because again, only 3 figures are out. I don't think everybody got Pennywise. I don't know how many people are going to be doing Gandalf. You would hope that they're out, because I mean, there's a lot of fans there. But again, you can be a fan but not have the money for it. Let's be honest, right? So, so it all depends. It all depends on that there. But I think from a quality standpoint, I think enough collectors get enough of their figures in hand and are impressed by it, and they continue to take the feedback, like I was saying before earlier in the day in this conversation, then they stand a very good chance to stick around. The question is going to be, if you really want to put a bow onto this here, kind of what I brought up before, what happens to Inart when J&D Studios comes in? And now you got 3. Because you got somebody who's doing exactly what you're doing, maybe, possibly could be better. Not saying it will, but could possibly potentially do better. And Hot Toys has the market where the loyal fan base, of where most people will buy from them first, and will probably have slightly less money to pay for a figure. Where does that leave them when those guys get on board? That's going to be when this question will be really juicy to find out what the answer is. But for now, they're fine.
Yeah. I also think with Queen Studio backing them too, they have a little bit longer of a leash as well. But so I think this is an overreaction as well. But Sneaker, what are your thoughts?
100% overreaction. Yeah, Inart's not going anywhere. Like, they're just getting started. They just released, their first figures that they released, I think everybody would agree, are banger figures. Like, it's not like anybody's saying, oh, this figure's garbage. Inart is doing horrible because they've released a horrible figure. Everybody, if anything, people are driving them to try to create something even better because they're welcoming that feedback. It's just driving the hype for it more. And their list of, like, they're a little behind in their list for this year, but they've got a lot of figures coming. Like, there's no way with how many, the hype around Inart right now and the figures that they're coming out with, and the discussion we just had about Superman. Like you mentioned, Graham, the biggest thing is they're backed by Queen Studios, and they're owned by Queen essentially. Right. Like, that's something that I feel like isn't talked about enough when it comes to, like, people saying, like, well, is there a potential that Inart could, like, what if Inart just doesn't do well? Well, Queen is like a massive, really successful company. You know what I mean? So, like, they're obviously, like, all for them doing this too, and that's why I've said, oh, they, maybe they have a little bit, like you said, longer leash, and also production times are probably a little bit slower because they want them to get it right while they first start off here. Yeah, 5 years from now, like DLO said, like, that would be the very bare minimum if they were to get out, because by that time they'd have a lot of figures out. But I don't see it happening. Also, I don't really see it happening, even if even if another company comes into play here, J&D. I don't see it happening because also Inart is, like, we have to think, I think, on a global scale too, where, like, we're just in the US. There's people who are going to be getting these figures from other areas of the world. That's that I think, like, we're importing these essentially from resellers where True. They're not even really supposed to be sold here by a retailer. There's other countries where there's collectors who are going to buy them. We already know people overseas get figures certain ways from different people because they're available in select markets for some people. Right. So, like, that's going to drive people to buy from Inart as well. So, and who knows what J&D is going to be like. And then you got to go to the licensing piece too. Is J&D going to have the licenses that Inart's going to have, that Hot Toys is going to have? Like, there's all those variables in play. They're probably all going to do something a little bit different. So yeah, overreaction.
All right. Very good. Very good. You guys having fun with this?
It's good.
I have lots of fun.
Got all right. Thinking over here.
All right. So the next one here, this would be Sneaker's turn. So we have 2 left.
Give me the far away one.
Okay. So this one's called Lost in a Galaxy Far Away. Hot Toys has completely forgot about Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary.
Here we go, another asking for a friend segment.
I'm going to say overreaction. We're going to get at least, I'm going to make a prediction that we're going to get at least 2 more figures from Return of the Jedi 40th. Yeah, by the end of the year. I'll say by the end of the year. That's
typically what we've gotten from anniversaries is 4, right?
Yeah, has there been 4? I think it was...
Empire Strikes Back was Vader, Lando, Boba,
Luke.
Yeah, but they were announced in different years though. That's so the initial anniversary for Empire Strikes Back, they only announced a reissue of Vader and a reissue of Boba Fett, and then the following year thereafter is when they announced more figures such as the Snowspeeder Luke and the Lando.
Yep.
So they celebrate the anniversary whenever they feel like it.
Then maybe we won't. Then maybe we won't get them by the end of this year if that's the case. But we're gonna get a couple more 40th anniversary. There's no way they only do 2 for Return of the Jedi. If they've done for these other ones, no. I don't think they forgot. I think there's just a lot of other stuff going on right now with stuff they're announcing and what they're doing that it'll come with time. We're going to get more. We'll probably also what I think is probably going to happen is they're going to announce a couple more and they're going to fall within probably like the same release window as the other ones. Because those ones are out a ways, you said, right? So we have probably like this few months.
Summer, probably.
Yeah. So if they're talking summer, they could easily within the next 3-4 months here, 5 months say, hey, we're going to also be adding in these 2 within the same release window. So overreaction, in my opinion.
I'll just hold on 1 second. There. All right. Let me catch up with the chat here. All right. Let's see. Yeah, that guy Mark says regarding Inart, just need them to finish the Lord of the Rings line. Kumar says, guys, Inart will be there. The market is good enough in some regions and some licenses where companies like J&D and Infinity Studios coming in. Oh, we just lost Sneaker. Hopefully he comes back. J&D is going to max out. You okay there?
Yeah, sorry.
You just want to hold us up?
No, my thing just froze.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, now I'm on the bottom.
Yeah, now you're on the bottom.
You can have the top back.
No, it's okay.
Wow.
There.
Hey.
Okay. I was like, wow. I was
Sorry,
trying to be nice.
Literally, my chat and everything completely froze on my screen, so I just refreshed it. Sorry about that.
All right. Will Inart within that time do a 2.0 of their own figures? I think if they're around long enough, they definitely probably will. Because why wouldn't you make extra money on figures that you've done? Just tweak them and make them better.
I don't know. I think John said that, like John from Inart said that that's not going to be their intent. When they're done,
I agree.
They're going to be
not
done
right away.
Potentially. Hopefully they don't. Honestly, I really hope that Inart stays away from 2.0s.
So 10 years down the road, you wouldn't want to see
No.
That's wishful thinking. That's
I don't
naive.
want a 2.0. Unless there's certain advances to make it a lot better. You know what I mean? If there's certain advances that can make a figure a lot better, then okay, but they shouldn't just do a 2.0 just to do it. They should pride themselves on releasing a figure that you want that in your something like that in your collection. You know what I mean?
But
we
we're
talk
not
about that
collected.
when we get
This is not
2.0
true
releases.
limited though. That's the thing, that these are not numbered. This is
Right.
There's no there's no specific amount that's out there. So
But I'm just saying, like we've talked about in the past, once you release a 2.0, it just destroys the first one. You know what I mean?
Agreed, 1,000%. I mean, look what we were talking about earlier today with Artisan Wanda for a second.
Yeah.
That is a grail. That Civil War one is a freaking grail. It's one of the last grails still standing. Still standing. Yep. That thing is dead as of today. It's
like Civil War Black Panther that just plummeted, lost over half of its value.
But that one was a double whammy. It hurt the original Black Panther and the solo movie version one.
That thing was
just like that.
5.
Yeah, killed both of them just like that.
So like, the thing is, nobody likes that happening. You know what I mean?
The thing is, Hot Toys or companies, they don't care about the value of our figures. If they're able to make money, they're going to make money. And if there's going to be more fans of Inart by that time who weren't around like us, they're in the chance to do this the first time, it only makes sense for them to either do a reissue or 2.0. It's just a matter of enough time has passed to justify it.
They should it should be different. It should be different. They shouldn't just do a re-release. It should they absolutely got to make it different.
Right.
For a while there, Hot Toys, when they were going through their 2.0 phases and new versions, even before like today's version of the 2.0, where it's just literally the new head sculpt and this, that, and the other, everything else is the same. But when they actually did something innovative with their 2.0s, I mean, they were coming in pretty rapidly, specifically the Marvel side of things, like more specifically than that, Iron Man. I mean, how many Iron Men have been out there? It's ridiculous. I mean, I think we said something about 600 Hot Toys estimated right now. I bet you if someone counted them all, you're probably up to maybe 150 of those being Iron Man.
Yeah.
So
you see people out there having I got 50 Iron Mans in my collection.
So I mean, it just goes to show you, if there's money to be made, these companies are going to find a way to make it. And I think I don't think Inart would be any different if they were in that position. If they were put in that position a couple years down the road. So I can totally see that happening because there's no number to protect it. Period.
Right.
It's not a first edition this or that other. They're never claiming that. So
Yep, it's
that
just
leaves
a
the window
standard
open to
release
do it.
for them.
Exactly.
Kumar's got some good points here. He says companies like Queen Studio, J&D, and Infinity are looking into 1/6 mainly due to changes in statutes. Statue industry having issues like shipping price, skilled workers, and collectors' space concerns. I know the space concern was one of the big ones. I know these statue collectors love their statues, but at the same time, especially in like overseas, like Japan, that place is tight. So you're not, if you're a collector, you're not going to be able to get too many statues in a 2-bedroom apartment where you live or something like that. So I mean, it's I know space has been tight in a lot of places in the world, and yeah, just a interesting perspective there.
I like
shipping
that.
prices. Shipping prices have gone up drastically.
Yeah,
That's
ridiculous.
I know a
another
lot
thing.
of
I can't imagine
people
the
are
cost
tapping out of
shipping a
that
statue.
hobby as well with just state of the world and
Yeah, it's rough.
inflation and
Oil
shipping
was
and
going up,
resale,
shipping,
Yeah.
all that. I mean, it's all
You
connected.
you could get like a Hot Toys figure for the price of shipping with some of these things. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That's insane to think about.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, the guy Mark says, I think the closest thing they do to a 2.0 will be Gandalf, but white.
That's a good point.
We'll see.
I mean,
Yeah,
Great head
variations would be a great idea. Make it do a variation, do something different.
Jerry says, so Hot Toys spent around $25 to $50 to make a figure.
well, that's a good question. That's a good question there. They're definitely not $200, $300 figures. That's for
Right.
sure. They're not making them for that price.
All right. So we just have one left. And that's DLO's, and it's called Invisible Drax. And basically, you can probably guess what this is going to be
Asking
about.
for a friend again.
We ain't getting Drax. He's not coming. Is that a overreaction, or is that spot on? It's been too long. We're not finishing the line. We're not getting Drax.
It's scary.
It's a tease.
It's scary if they do it again, because this wouldn't be the first time they teased Drax and not delivered on one there. You want to hope that they would make sure they get it done this time, right? But it's Hot Toys. I mean, they over-announce and underproduce. That's the Hot Toys game, you know? That's just the facts of the matter is, hey, guys, we got another exciting figure, but 2 years, maybe 2.5, maybe 3 or 4 delays. I mean, every now and then you'll get one that's, earlier than scheduled, but that's not very many. So I think you keep the faith. I think it's an overreaction. I think it will happen. Unfortunately, it's just not going to happen when we ideally want it to happen. The movie's already available on Disney Plus. We should have gotten these announcements. So I can definitely see where your frustration is with that there. But, Hot Toys does stuff on Hot Toys time, man. That's just the only way I can really explain how I just have this gut feeling that they're still going to do it. It's just one of those things where, like, all right, what did Inart announce? They're making a Batman. Drax, throw out the Drax comment. Go, JC, now go. Something like that. Something like that. I picture goes down at headquarters over there. Something silly like that. Just kind of like almost holding it as kind of a, what do they call that? An ace in the sleeve kind of situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Breaking case emergency kind of stuff there, because we haven't really touched into this here. We really kind of skipped over it tonight. But I mean, the pre-order window for Inart popped up for Superman, and we got like freaking 5 or 6 figures announced in one night. Like, does anybody else have any thoughts on that there? What are the odds that, okay, we're going to talk about Toby, we're going to do the Artisan of Wanda, we're going to do an Iron Man, and what I know I'm missing something else that was announced as well too.
Well, I guess I will say they had an event for those reveals too that happened to fall around the same time.
Sure. But I mean, sometimes a coincidence is not a coincidence either.
There's probably some strategy involved there.
There's some strategy, and again, I mean, I know a lot of these companies are the same factories, and people kind of leak other people's information. I mean, I don't know that for sure. I mean, I've heard that before, but it wouldn't surprise me that Hot Toys maybe got wind of some inside information, and I'm speculating. I don't know for sure, so please don't hold me to this, guys here. But I can see something in a situation where they got inside information where they were expecting Inart to make an announcement, and they coordinated their announcement to go around their announcement. Because if you think about it, there, I mean, we're still talking about Inart Superman because it's still fairly new. But I mean, I have seen nothing but reposts of Artisan Wanda for days. There. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man symbiote suit for days. I feel bad for Iron Man. I haven't seen Iron Man since the day of announcement, so sucks to be you, dude. But everybody else, they're getting their love. Oh, Spider-Man into Spider-Verse. I almost forgot. Yeah, it's Spider-Punk. So yeah, I mean, there's been tons of like reposts of that there. So I mean, that's as much as people were talking about in our Superman. I would argue still that Wanda is getting more reposts in the groups than anything else that's been announced from what I've seen so far on social media. So, you know, say what you will, but yeah. I think we'll still get Drax because I think it's just going to be one of those things that people are absolutely dying to have in their collection, to have another swing at that character like a Wanda, right? Like a Toby. And we're glazing over that, but that is a figure that I never thought we were going to see another version of. I mean, that's right. I wish we had more time to talk about that too, because that's a very important figure. But yeah, all that being said, like I see Drax coming, and anything else that we've just been waiting for, we haven't heard from yet. I just still think it's just going to be one of those things where when they're ready, they'll let us know. But I don't think it's going away.
Sometimes I think too, they announce a lot of those in the same 6-month span. So like they're all going to be hitting the same time next year. So I'm wondering if they're just waiting a while, and then this will come out a little bit after that. But yeah, who knows? Sneaker, you got any thoughts on that? If that's an overreaction or not?
I think it's probably an overreaction. I think you're going to get Drax. The figure, well, there's already been a Drax figure that's been released. The only holdup, I guess, is if Batista doesn't want them to do it. But we're never going to know behind the scenes if that's a problem. You know what I mean? Yeah, like Born Again says, yeah, if it's Batista stopping it, but he's like, I don't know. I don't know if like that. We don't know. Like I said, we don't know behind the scenes how that stuff works. But also, you're getting all the other. Who's the other one? Mantis. Is she the one
those are the last two?
So when does the Mantis figure come out? The other
one
with the Christmas outfit,
probably. Yep.
So that probably had
that out sooner around Christmas. You know.
My guess is what's going to happen is that Mantis figure is going to come out, and then they're going to announce Mantis from Guardians 3.
That makes sense.
At a later point after they release that one.
There you go.
I think you're going to get Mantis. I think you're going to get Drax, but they'll probably reveal them close to the same time after that one Mantis figure is really, really close to release, or after it already comes out. So I think Drax. Another thing is like, this is a situation where the problem that I have is like when you go to Rogue One and they didn't make a Baze Malbus and they didn't make a Cassian Andor, but this is a situation where they're all wearing the same suit. The other situation that I think about this is like, so I guess from when they do like Endgame, when they're wearing the Quantum suits,
right?
Did they release all the characters for Quantum suits?
Nope, just Tony. There was plans for it, like Cap.
So it was just Tony though.
Just Tony.
Okay, I couldn't remember what one's released from that, but I was gonna say like, I can't think of another grouping when they announce this many that are wearing the same suit and they leave one or two out. Like that would just seem, I can't think of a time when Hot Toys has done that. I get when in lines they miss certain figures, but if you're going to have them all wearing the exact same outfits and you've already announced this many of them, to me, like there's a slim chance that they don't release the other two in this case. They already have these other ones already announced. Like it would be a very unusual thing to me personally, because they're all wearing the same type of outfit. That would just be so odd to me if they did that. So I'll say overreaction. I think you'll get him and Mantis.
All right. Well, sounds good. It looks like everything that was on the docket for Overreaction Wednesday was, in fact, an overreaction according to our panel. So, yeah, just a new fun game. Hopefully you guys like that. If you do, we'll bring that back. I think it's fun because it gets us talking about different topics and kind of where we're at with them. So having said that, I think that just about does it for the show tonight. So I want to thank you all out there for watching, being awesome in the chat, and yeah, just supporting my guys up here as well as the channel. It's been a lot of fun. Don't forget to subscribe to them on Instagram and YouTube. Sneaker, what you got going on your channel?
Oh, yeah. So I think Friday I do After Ahsoka, which is a show where we review the week's episodes. We'll be reviewing episode 7. And then I think I'm going to be on with Shane from 16 Figure Focus I don't know. I haven't talked to him. It may potentially be Friday evening before actually we stream, so I might do a little stream marathon. I'm going on his show for an episode of Visions. So I'm going to be doing that. We've been chatting about that, so he's going to get me on an episode on his channel. I'll post an update once I find out about that, but I think that might potentially be actually like this Friday evening. I need to confirm with him that. But yeah, I got that coming up. I'm working on some other stuff, trying to find another person I'm going to potentially do like a collector tour interview with. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got going on right now. It's a busy, Friday's going to be a busy day.
Awesome. DLO, I know you're working on that tour. How's that coming along?
It's almost done, man. Almost done. Patience is key here. Got a couple things here. Got some cool stuff. I got some cool ideas from you here that I'm just waiting to get that back in the mail from the guy. So yeah, I'm like the George R. Martin there. Like I'm still working on my Game of Thrones books there. You know, it'll come around. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So be patient. Jeez, can't rush art. But yeah, guys, I'm still working on it. It looks good. Just waiting for some final details. It's in post. We'll see what happens, and you know, I won't even announce it. I'll just post it and see if you guys find it.
There you go.
That's it. There.
Do you know about an estimated time of when it might be ready?
You know, like. I mean, that's a hard question. Like, how do you know when something's a masterpiece? You don't. You feel it.
It just keeps filming over.
How many figures are going to be revealed before DLO reveals his
I think honestly, I think at the end of all this, the collection tour is going to be a massive disappointment. But the documentary behind it will be amazing. Like, I think that's what it'll be there. Like, it'll have interviews with you and Brick and stuff like that there, and. You know, the behind the scenes, that's the juicy stuff. That's the stuff that you guys are going to want to see. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. Well, it was good chatting with you guys. I have fun with you guys each and every week. And for my channel, last week did an assembly video on the Maju case, the 655s with the new packaging. It was really cool. And I'm going to do a video on just the new instructions too, just talking about my thoughts on those and how they work. Just had my Peacemaker review come out today, so go check that out. Also got my Luke Skywalker CCFL lightsaber in, so I'm still debating if I want to do a video on that. People have done them, but I'd still kind of maybe like to do one. So we'll see if time permits. And then I also made a riser for my 6 series cases under my TV. You can go see a picture of that on Instagram. I did a video on when I made these, so same concept. You guys can go check that out if you are so inclined. Outside of that, yeah, just again, thank you guys for watching. You know, always appreciate you guys showing up each and every week to support us and just hang out with us and talk figures. So even though we might sometimes have different opinions about some, we all still get along, we all still chat, and we all still see each other's perspectives. So thank you again. Till next time, stay safe out there and go Pack, go.
What? No.
Bye. Too sweet.